What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday Show. My name's Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going besides death?
Okay, alright. So we're going to be talking about this upcoming weekend. A lot of stuff is going to go down. We'll preview it in a little bit. We will talk about results from the past weekend. Some fun stuff occurred. We'll be talking about Terry and Smash, a.k.a. the third Ryu, as what I've been told. And also, we'll be talking about interesting stuff on 5-5 matchup. There's other game news as well, some cool stuff to discuss on that end, and then various community info. So
you may have an echo, Mr. Friday, because maybe you have two browsers open.
Dang, is it your fault? Maybe.
Yeah, he did.
No, you were actually serious. Oh man, you were right.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Yes.
I can't believe
right.
it. Wow.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's start by talking about this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, this is a crazy weekend.
Extremely dense FGC weekend. Maybe the densest of the year.
It could be.
It's certainly in the contention.
These are all big events.
They're all big events. Yeah, exactly. So the three that are going on, that are the main ones to talk about, are ArcRevo in SoCal, the CPT NA Regional Finals, NARF in Las Vegas, and Dreamhack Atlanta in Atlanta.
That's right.
Which is the Tekken World Tour Masters event.
And so basically, I called this the worst weekend ever for Tasty Steve.
Steve, yeah, he's spread thin, right? Do you know what he ended up doing?
I know which one he's going to.
Okay.
He's going to ArcRevo.
Oh, okay.
So
that seems like the steviest Steve choice, I feel.
Well, I mean, because that's the big one, right? That's the big one, and then the problem, like Tekken, it's not the final of Tekken.
Fair enough, yeah.
He gets to play the new Guilty Gear at ArcRevo. This is not quite the final of Street Fighter,
right.
So you know what? Go to the final one. So.
It definitely makes sense, yeah. Well, let's talk about ArcRevo while we're on the subject.
Sure.
So, what's going on?
ArcRevo, so they've been running a year-long circuit as well. Thank you for the follow. EMPIFC Calnito.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow. But basically, it's their world tour circuit that they've been running for a long time for Guilty Gear, for BB Tag, and for BlazBlue Central Fiction. They've had events like all the other ones where you can qualify, and now here it is, culminating into the finals that are taking place here in Southern California. But that's not all. I mean, they've got a UNIST side tournament there. They've got a, what was
Kill
it?
the Kill side tournament.
Kill side tournament in there. And not only that, but Guilty Gear 2020 will be playable. I believe BB Tag with all the new characters will be playable. And I think UNICLR is going to be playable there. I'm not sure if that one's going to be there, but they had like... It's
all their stuff,
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff going on over there. So that's all taking place this weekend to find out. And you know, what's interesting about it is, you know, there's been a lot of critiques of this tour I've heard during the course of the year. You know, didn't have a clear schedule, et cetera, et cetera. It's been going through a lot of, fledgling tour problems, right?
Yeah.
This one's going through that. The SNK stuff went through that. I think Dragon Ball last year was going through a lot of that problem. Right. So, you know, I don't think it's, obviously a lot of people are frustrated with it, but, you know, it takes a while for all these to set up. Hopefully this just means with next year, especially with Guilty Gear 2020, UNICLR coming up, you know, they've got some big games for it, so hopefully they shore up the whole thing next year. So.
Yeah, look, the way that CPT started was not free of problems. There definitely have been issues over the years earlier in that tour's life.
Yeah,
Tekken World Tour was the same.
Shout outs to Ace King Offsuit in the chat, who has probably killed himself before this weekend to figure out all the placements and everything. So
for sure. By the way, I'm really happy that you're working with Juked. That's super cool.
Oh yeah, Juked. That's right.
Anyway, yeah. So lots of good stuff to play if you are in town. I'm very much looking forward to hearing the reports from people about those games, especially Guilty Gear. We talked a lot about it on the show last week.
Yeah.
And all we know so far is, what other people have talked about. There were some brief, play testing that were on stream. So we have some thoughts about it, but having more time and more people looking at it will give you a better picture.
Exactly.
Even if you're not there.
I mean, look, they've also said that they're willing to take feedback, that they're willing to change the game and listen to everything. And if the internet can fix Sonic the Hedgehog, hopefully they can also fix Guilty Gear.
Yeah, hopefully not with as much crunch, but right.
But I mean, to be honest with you, there might be not even anything to fix, right? Like it could just be the way that it is, and it works really well, and it plays great, and it's what they want to go for. Like obviously, everyone's going to be like, just make it exactly how it was before. Previous game is there. Play the previous game. Let's try to bring in new stuff. Let's bring in new stuff.
You know what's interesting is that after last week when we were talking about we don't know whether people would really want to play a simplified version of Gear, a lot of people on the YouTube comments said that they definitely do. Yeah. And then in real life, several of my friends have said that they would want to play that like they haven't played Gear in the past, but
because it looks too complicated and stuff.
I mean, not necessarily because of that, but this is like an easier way to approach. So like it isn't that they weren't playing Gear because they thought it was too complicated, but if Gear is going to be easier, then getting into it will be easier. So they might as well try.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, a lot of the times, trust me, 645, maybe we'll talk about it later, but I feel so bad for all the CG guys
100%.
on Sonic the Hedgehog.
We'll talk about it later.
But what the hell was I saying? I don't even remember. I got distracted by Sonic the Hedgehog. What did you just say?
I got distracted by Sonic the Hedgehog. No, it was about...
These topics are going too fast, man.
That was about whether people do want to play a simplified Guilty Gear.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, Guilty Gear has always been, like, the one game besides Tekken that's like, man, you need a college degree. Like, it's a second job to play these games. So, that's definitely intimidating. It's intimidating, and so having it be simpler might be something that they want to go with.
At the same time, even if they are willing to make changes to it, don't expect for there to be changes in this build this weekend.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's going to be what we saw. Just to caution people,
like, it will be the same build. I don't have info for sure on that, but I would be flabbergasted if they brought a different build.
Yeah.
Right? That never happens.
Especially one that they showed off already.
That's what and it was only a week ago, right, that they showed it off.
Yeah, and another thing, too, is, again, I mean, I just had a whole talk on my stream about the woes of programming. You cannot make a new build and just be like, hey, let's put it, because like every time you make a new build, there's just such a testing process.
There's a process, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure that in their studio they have had any number of builds, right? But yeah, they've already gotten one through the whole process of getting it out there. It's going to take a lot of work to have another
shown, right? Yeah, because that's what I mean, some of the builds they're playing, like, just make sure you don't do this with Chip or he ends up floating off the screen.
Right, yeah. So I'm sure it'll be the same.
Yep.
But nevertheless, you can try it out there. And if you are curious, if you can't go, keep your eye on social media and whatnot. People will be talking about it, I'm sure, and showing videos and whatnot.
And that's an interesting comment from Mr. Friday, is that, with all the fighting games out, you could almost kind of appreciate a simpler Guilty Gear. And it's weird because I feel like a lot of the games are going in that direction, right? Because I feel like every game, except for Tekken, has really gotten significantly easier. So I don't know.
I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
some I do, but not all.
Okay.
Not all. Anyway, as far as the tournaments that are going on, so as we mentioned, this is the culmination of the tour,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for BB Tag and for Gear and for BBCF, there are players who are already qualified. I mean, I don't know if we need to go through everybody, but you can see the list on Smash GG. I'll be rooting for Koji Cog.
The lists aren't huge though, right?
No. So I think it's only 18 people who have.
Is it 18 for each game?
18 or 19, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not.
Tekken got simpler. I know, but like barely. They made it so that you can tech normal throws. So people stop using you use command throws a little more. Getting up off the ground is a little bit easier, which I personally attribute to helping its popularity as well. So, but outside of that, the game is still pretty complicated. So.
Doesn't look easy.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, those are big changes, but still not. It didn't simplify needing to know every single character and every move and everything like that.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look easy. Anyway, if you're curious, you can go on to smash.gg and then search for ArcRevo America 2019, and all of the qualified players are already there.
I agree with you, ZXC Just. We do need more fighting games on mobile. Yeah. This is the mobile.
This is the best system. I don't know what happened, James.
You didn't do a birdie challenge, did
boy.
you? Like on Street Fighter League? Oh, God. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's the best system.
Yes.
Other than the personal computer, naturally.
Yeah. No, this is better than that, too.
Yeah, again, there are also LCQs for each of those games.
Yes. Hey, what's up, Kizzy K? Kizzy's in the chat? Oh,
Hey,
there
buddy.
you go. Yeah. Simple Gear still. Yeah, he got to play it. So that's a good question, right? You actually got to play it, Kizzy K. So you actually say it still feels like Gear. So that's really important because I know Kizzy is somebody. Hey, what's up? Vicious is in the chat as well. Wow, everybody's in the chat here. But Kizzy is a person who can get into all the complex games, loves Guilty Gear, and if he actually says it still feels like Gear, that is very encouraging.
Totally. By the way, also good luck in the tournament.
Yes,
Kizzy.
absolutely.
Oh, wow. I did physical therapy before this, and it was pretty serious today, so... All right, anyway, let's get back on track.
Oh, that's right. They were guests on Best of 5 today, so that makes sense.
Indeed.
So
nice
they
work out
just
there.
Jumped over here.
That was very cool. Anything else to say about ArcRevo in terms of previewing it?
I'm just really sad I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of going?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely thinking
Oh,
about it.
sweet.
Yeah, just show up for a day.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I didn't enter anything, but yeah.
Okay. Cool. I wonder if Waxel's going to enter.
LCQ, yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, you mean he's not already qualified? No, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, look, he won Canada Cup.
He did, yes.
He took Canada Cup. Clearly, he's one of the best right now.
So you're not going to go to ArcRevo, but where are you going to go?
I'm so sad about that.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
You'll have to hear on social media how it is.
Yeah, I'm going to the NA Regional Finals for Capcom Pro Tour.
Correct.
So that is going to be at Vegas at the ever so lovely esports arena.
My favorite location.
Yeah, we've been there so many times
Yes.
now. Yeah, and but this is the last premiere event
Right.
where you can earn points, and it's a super premiere.
It is a super
So
premiere.
if you win this one, you get 1,000 points.
Oh, James, I'm so disappointed in myself.
I know.
I really meant to enter, okay? The top 160 entrants get points. Mm-hmm. And if you finish last in that 160, you get 5 points. There are 120 people signed up right now, which means that everybody who even signed up, you will go 0-2 and get 5 points. If you finish... actually, it's 128 gets 10 points, isn't it? Let's see.
I'm not sure.
That's what Ace King Officer said. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it didn't even get to the point where you would get 5 points at all. So just for showing up and going 0-2, or in my plan, not even going and getting DQ'd, double DQ'd, you would get 10 points. You would get as many points as people get for getting 2 top 8s at ranking events. 7th places. Yes, that is correct. That it's 5 points to get 7th place at a ranking event, and you could have just signed up and gotten a minimum of 10 points. Oh my god. But I forgot. I just slipped my mind that day. I feel like such a dummy. But anybody who is going is guaranteed to get a minimum of 10. Congratulations.
Oh my god. Yeah, but
It's a super premiere. There's only
Three.
There's three. Yeah, there's Evo, there's the Asia premiere, and then there's NARF
Right.
that have that.
And you know what? I mean, I think it was just a slight miscalculation on Capcom's part. They were probably expecting everybody to jump there to try to win, to qualify at the last event, whereas the exact opposite happened. Most people are like, I'm probably not going to get first place,
Right.
so I'm probably not going to get enough points. because in looking at the standings and everything like that, a lot of people, in order to shift positions and get to where they need to go, need to get at least third place.
I see.
Because there's people who are behind by like 300 some odd points, right? So, like, for example, in the North American region, Smug, he's behind Strider by 165 points. So he might be able to get in there, but you notice that 165 points means that he needs to get like 200 points, which is fourth place, right? That's only if Strider gets 10 points.
Well, Strider will get 10 points.
You can't expect Strider to go 0-2, though, right? I mean, this pool kind of is.
I don't know, dude, to be honest. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So there is a potential. But again, for a lot of the players to move into a position where they can win, they need to place really high.
Right.
I think there's only like 3 main players right now that are like. Well, 801 Strider, 4 main players who are really kind of in a dangerous position right now.
Okay.
Which is Itazan and Kichipamu. They're tied.
Right.
They're tied for the, hey, we're not in the top 27, but Fujimura won the Asian regionals, so it drops to the next highest person.
Yeah.
It's them.
Right.
So those two have to figure out. God, what if Kichipamu, the Zangief player, makes it over Itazan, the Abigail player? Oh, man, that would be crazy.
It would be pretty nutty, but, I mean, I really hope that at least one of them gets in, just selfishly.
Yeah.
Really cool,
of course, of course. I mean, the craziest part is that Itazan was second place last year.
He was.
And he's in danger of not getting in there.
Yeah.
NARF is a premiere.
It's on the
premiere.
CPT, on Capcom Pro Tour. It's a super premiere. It's the North American Regional Finals.
Right.
So there is this open tournament we'll talk about in a little bit. There's also the Regional Finals, 8 players aspect of it.
Kichipamu and Itazan are in the same pool. Oh, God.
Well, I guess that's fitting, right?
Oh, man.
You have to win in order to get
NARF. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the other player, Luffy is kind of okay. Luffy is in the top 27. He's on the bubble. He is the bubble boy. Right? But the thing about it, why are you laughing?
I don't know. It's the weird way to phrase it, but okay.
That's how they describe it on World Series of Poker. When you're the guy right outside the money, you're the bubble boy. So,
I stand by my statement. I think it's a weird way to put it. But anyway, go on.
Okay, but if Luffy drops out, he's the highest qualifying European player.
Right.
So, because Big Bird won that and he's in there, so Luffy's in pretty much no matter what. The question is Takamura getting in? Because Takamura wants Luffy to stay in, because if he does, then Takamura makes it into Capcom Cup. If Luffy drops out, then he takes that spot and Takamura disappears.
Isn't there also a chance that Mr. Crimson gets in?
If Mr. Crimson does extremely well, but let me see, Mr. Crimson is 140 points behind Takamura.
Got it. Okay.
So if he can beat Takamura and Luffy stays in there, then Crimson gets in there.
Right.
And if Luffy drops out, then both of them are boned, basically.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance that none of the 3 make it, is what you're saying?
No, Luffy is almost guaranteed to make it, because if he drops out, then he becomes the highest qualified, which is why the other 2 disappear.
I see.
He takes that spot, right?
Okay. Got it.
And then the 4th one is 801 Strider, because he's right outside. He's trying to get in. He's in the top. He's the guy. So here's the thing. We don't know how it's going to work out for him because we haven't played the NA Regional Finals, which is going to be that weekend. Right? So
that will be the day after the Open Premiere.
Yeah. So the 3 players, Shine, El Chicote, and Terrence are in it. They're the only 3 of the 8 North Americans in there that haven't already qualified besides 801 Strider.
Right.
So 4 of them have already qualified. 801 Strider and then those 3, right? 801 Strider's safe.
Right.
Problem is, if any of those other 3 wins it, then like Zenith, they qualify by that and no spot opens up on the global board. So if Strider is outside the bubble, he gets taken out.
So he could not make it at all.
Right. If Terrence, Shine, or El Chicote wins. So Strider wants one of the other 4 guys to win.
Right, for sure.
If one of those 4 guys wins, then he stays in even if he's not in there.
Right.
Now, he could get passed up by the closest one, I think, is Punk. but he's still pretty far behind. Punk is still far behind. So it's him and JB are kind of fighting for that bottom position right there. So JB's in currently.
Wait, Punk?
801 Strider. Did I say Punk?
Yeah.
Smug.
Oh, okay.
Smug,
oh, wow.
Smug.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. It's weird because it's a 4-letter name with a U in it, and that's where my brain gets messed up. It's weird.
No, that's fine.
I've made that
makes
mistake
sense.
before.
Yeah,
so.
that makes sense.
But, yeah, Smug is there, but he has to win, like, 3rd place, and 801 Strider just has to have a colossal failure of a tournament. Right? But if 801 Strider wins the Invitational, he's in no matter what.
Of course,
so,
of course. Yeah.
There you go.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's a rough situation. Now, to me, I think one of the most interesting stories, though, is that Menardi has signed up, but I know he kind of said he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
he did, yeah.
I don't know if he's going.
I don't know either, yeah.
If he doesn't go, Zenith is the only Latin American player in there.
In Capcom Cup?
In Capcom Cup, which is last year there was 3, the previous year there was 3.
Yeah.
And then there was 2, and then there was 1 and 1. So they'd gone up, but this will be
wild.
the first time that it might drop back down.
They even have a better tournament representation this year than they did last year.
Yeah, and Zenith will be the only one, right? I mean, Menardi, I don't know if he quit.
No, that's not what he said. He said
he just doesn't feel like he's a top player this year, so he might not travel as much.
He basically said that he will. He's not intending to travel, and that he needs to work on it to become a top player again before he's going to travel around. Not that he's quitting.
Right.
But that said, that might have just been a salty tweet. I haven't talked with him about it. He might show up this weekend anyway. I don't know.
Right.
But maybe not.
The cool thing about it is, though, is that Zenith is from Brazil. And
Yeah.
outside of last year, every year has had a Brazilian since 2014. So last year was 2 Dominicans and Peruvian. And then but every other year has had at least a Brazilian.
Yeah.
So Brazil always dominating. That
Sure.
year.
I mean, there's a lot of talented players in there, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I was looking at the brackets, and every single one of them is really wild. You know what I mean? Like, here's Pool A1. You have players including NL, Justin Wong, Punk, Infectious, Mr. Crimson, Hurricane, Kaba, Dr. African, Eyedrop. In Pool A2, you have Bonchan, Knuckledew, Nemo, Gamerby, Johnny, Toy, Stupendous, Lil Evil, Alex Myers, and Just a Kid. In Pool B1, John Takeuchi, Haitani, Tokido, Idom, Ryusei, Storm Kubo, Diddy Mokov, Pinoy, LPN. It's like, what are these pools? You know what I mean? It's incredible.
What's really surprising to me is that there's so few SoCal players traveling to it, even though it's like a 4-hour drive.
No, it's very doable for SoCal. Yeah. I don't know why that is, but
there's not a lot of them there.
It speaks to they probably won't make this a super premiere again next year, right? If it's the same kind of format at all. If even players from SoCal are not willing to make that drive because they're like, I'm not gonna win, so
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's interesting because now what we didn't realize, a lot of people would think that the tail end is where everybody's gonna enter, right? But I think most people would probably rather enter the last chance qualifiers at Capcom Cup because they're going to go to Capcom Cup to watch anyway.
Oh, okay.
Right? They're going to be a spectator, so might as well enter there. Sure. So I don't want to travel and enter here. The super premieres all need to be in the middle of the year because that's when everybody's trying to grab the points.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So EVO being a super premiere makes total sense. One, because everyone wants to win EVO, and 2, it's in the middle of the year when nobody knows where anything is happening.
You are right.
Like having super premieres from at the middle stage is probably the best call.
Yeah, I liked what Nemo said 2 years ago when he qualified via the LCQ. He said that it was the easiest way to qualify. And if you're somebody who's at that level, that might be true. Because in order to win this, you are playing against people who are definitely qualified for Capcom Cup, right? There's a lot of money on the line and points for better seating, so they're all in here. Whereas the LCQ is all the bums who aren't in there anyway.
You don't have to run into Point Sponge Punk is what they call him, the Point Sponge, who's sitting there and gatekeeping everybody. He probably will win this one too, He's going to steal more points from people, jeez.
Who would be surprised? Yeah, so for example, you wouldn't have to enter a pool that contains Dual Kevin, Blarlad, Big Bird, Hot Dog 29, JB, Takamura, El Chicote, Filipino Man, Commander Jesse, Romance, Team Chris, he did really well actually at Canada Cup.
No, and it was Puerto Rico. He did really well.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, whichever one it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, that pool sounds easy. No big deal. What about Pool C2 that has Problem X, Gachikun, Luffy, Shine, K-Brad, PR Balrog, Smug, Ceroblast, Yanoob, and Snake Eyes? Actually, that sounds easy also. What about Pool D1 that has Black Skills, Phenom, Mago, Strider, Terrence, Verloren, Kawano, Mena RD maybe, Rob TV, Mira Up to Snuff, and then in D2, Azad, Bushin Style, Oil King, Cien, Itabashi, Zangief, Kichipamu, Kami, Brian F, Nephew, Pugera, Sherry Genix, No Good Citizen, and more. So anyway, these pools are absolutely incredible. So I mean, the question of whether
this is
Strider,
like the tournament that you go 0-2 and you're like, yes, I went 0-2. I'm so proud.
You said that Strider might have to go 0-2 to like not make it. Maybe,
dude, it could happen. And that's the crazy thing. So, jeez.
Yeah, it is incredible the density of players.
Yeah, but I mean,
they all get 10 points at least. But
I mean, look, you know what? I mean, for all intents and purposes, Capcom has really been doing a great job with the Pro Tour, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, look how many people are fighting for this, right? The prize money is definitely something that's life-changing for everybody. And then just the consistency and the number of people involved, and just the extreme breadth of just quality players is remarkable. So
for a Super Premiere, the prize bonus is $80,000.
Right, I think it's $50,000 for first place.
For first place, it's $50,000. Second place is $10,000. Third is $7,500. Fourth is $5,000. Fifth and sixth both get $2,500, and then $1,250 for seventh and eighth. Can we talk about how awful of a skew that is? That is absurd, to be honest. That first place gets $50,000, and then second place gets 20% of that?
You know what the worst part about that is? I mean,
that is actually ridiculous.
You know what the worst part about that is that that just makes it so that Punk will want to win even more.
Yeah, no, of course.
But I mean, that
should actually pay out like the top 32. Come on, are you serious? $80,000, you can't give people their money back for entering at least?
At least I'm
actually mad now.
At least no one will be throwing the tournament.
Right, yeah.
There's no collusion. Oh, man. But
I actually feel like that encourages more collusion, to be honest.
You think so? Huh?
Sure. Yeah. If you in the first place, if you are a first place contender and the second place contender, if you feel like you are not at all, like super sure that you're gonna win, then you risk losing $40,000.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's
you should pot split.
Maybe if Punk didn't exist.
Yeah, maybe Punk would do it, but I gotta tell you, I 100% would do that. I'm not gonna lie. Right. Of course, I would try to pot split. Mm-hmm. I get in the grand finals. First thing I do is walk over to Punk and I'm like, "Hey, so can we both get $30,000 out of this?"
Punk will be like, "Nah."
Yeah, for sure.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take the money. Oh man, that's funny.
Anyway, that's a lot of money.
I mean, I do think that they honestly, again, we've said this every year, right? I really want them to spread the prize money and spread the points a little bit more.
Yeah.
I still don't like the fact that, like you said, at a ranking event, 7th place gets 5 points.
5 points.
Like, that's just...
All right, let me double check on that, but I believe it's 5 points.
That's just not right.
I definitely looked this up before, but now you asking again is making me be like...
Dude, that's the way it works, dude.
Oh, it was right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, 5 points.
Yeah, one of the best ones is like, if you ever see something before when people had watches, I guess you can do it with their phone now. When someone checks the time and puts it away, ask them what time it is, and they'll never know.
Right, yeah.
It's the way it works. You look at the time and like, oh, okay, I have this much time to then put it away. What time is it? Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Anyway, yeah. Everybody who shows up this weekend will be getting 10 points.
Yeah,
on the
honestly,
CPT.
I feel like the
getting 5th at a ranking
the
event.
point degradation needs to drop, especially in
God.
my opinion, because, and maybe we should talk about this after Capcom Cup, but I mean, I'm just talking about this out, but especially because it's so freaking hard to win.
Yeah.
Like, you getting 8th place at a ranking event shouldn't give you 5 points because it took a lot to get there at this point, right? So, yeah, you want to reward the guy in first place, but did the guy who gets second place really deserve not to get that many points?
Right, yeah. I think there's too much of a focus on the number 8.
Yeah.
The number 8 was definitely like a kind of arbitrary spot to make that happen, and there's historical reasons for that, but it shouldn't be that the top 8 players get all of the money to the exclusion of anybody else, or all of the points to the exclusion of anybody else in a ranking event. That's not what I want either. But that is currently the rules. So, anyway, congrats to everybody for going this weekend. You will all get 10 points. Drat. I could have done the same. No, that's the open premiere. There's also the North American regional finals. Yeah, invitation, whatever that's called. The finals, regional finals.
Which basically are the 8 players, although the 8 players that are in it could potentially change, right, based off of how they finish, because this is North America tournament.
Right, of
so
course.
Depending on that will add to the points there,
of
right?
Course.
So currently, if you look at the North American leaderboard, for example, I think Smug got most of his points like overseas, so he's not in it right now.
Currently, the players in it are... Something was going on with Smash GG there.
okay.
Idom, NuckleDo, Punk, Strider, JB, Shine, Terrence, and El Chicote.
Right. And so if Punk gets a bunch of points, that goes towards this, and it could jump him up even on the North American leaderboard, right? So then he'll be then somebody will... Terrence, I think, is number 8 right now. He might drop out and stuff like that.
It appears that that's actually locked in.
Oh, really? Player list can't change for the regional... Wait. I just had a conversation with somebody.
Oh, no!
That told me the exact opposite of
somebody
that.
involved in the organization of this event?
Maybe.
Oh, no. Well...
All right, well, I'll find out.
We'll find out, yeah.
I'll find out. Okay.
But,
okay.
yeah, I believe that he is correct. I'm pretty sure that at the LATAM finals, we already knew who was going to be top 8 before the LATAM premiere happened.
Okay. All right. I'm going to find out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to find out.
Okay. Well, good luck to whoever.
Yep. Okay. But yes, so going to be a crazy weekend. This weekend for Street Fighter, at least, because this is it for a lot of these players. And every year we have that one guy who is working super, super hard to get that spot just to fall short at the end. And there's a lot of people right now. I mean,
there's more than one this year. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Luffy is in 27. So he's in because Gachakun is in the top
currently,
27. Yeah. So he's actually officially in even the site, though the site is coloring up to 26.
I mean, that could change, but...
Yeah, it could change.
The current number,
in the current standing. But on the bubble are 801 Strider, Itabashi, Kichipamu, Smug, Mena RD, Takamura. Moke could potentially make it if he gets second place, and
I wouldn't be too surprising.
And Itabashi and Kichipamu both just crap out really badly. But Moke is still in contention there. So a lot of people still there. But look at this. Outside is Haitani, Gamer Justin Wong, Mr. Crimson, Fudo Johnny, who started off by getting second place at final round. Ryusei, DR Mandrake, Piccolo, Dual Kevin, MOV, all those guys are outside right now. That is insane. And when you see that, you're like, how can these people be outside? Then you look at the people inside, and you're like, okay.
Right, yeah.
This makes sense.
It's impressive. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. But that's...
Anything else about NARF?
No, that's about it, but that's going to be streaming this weekend, so check that out.
Indeed. In addition to that, there's also Dreamhack Atlanta going on. Yeah. This weekend.
Apparently, Curly W says there's more than just Dreamhack Atlanta, but this is the big one.
That's the Masters event.
Yeah, this is the Masters event for Tekken 7 in North America, basically. Yeah. And so there's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of points on the line.
Yeah, of course, $5,000 as well. Let me see how many people entered this. I think it's pretty good.
Did Johnny get third at that tournament?
I really don't remember. I didn't remember well enough to contradict it.
Okay.
There are currently 286 people signed up.
286 people. Now, Curly W, that list that you put up there, is that everybody that you know is gonna? Is that a list of players that you know are gonna be there? Curly W. Because I didn't see Tekken 7 at 286. No pools yet though.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah. So he listed Rangchu, Shadow 20Z, Cuddlecore, Joey Fury, Saint, Glaciating, Poke Chop, Jackie Tran, Jimmy J Tran, Cody, Gen, NG Obscure, Peeling, Anakin, Spirojin, Ace Unlimited, Rick the Ruler, Run It Black, Book, Kokoma, Take, Trungy, John Ding, and Brawl Pro. And that's not all of them, too. That was like probably off the top of Curly W's head, and he probably left a bunch of people out. So that is nuts.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one to
crazy.
watch. Definitely.
But so a lot of the players are actually going to some dojos around the world, huh? Interesting. But man, this has been the craziest year for Tekken because, like, normally all the Tekkens, you go up there and it's like, oh, hey, you know, by the end of the year, here's the Koreans in here, here's the Japan players, here's the Americans who are trying their best to get in here, you know, to this kind of thing. This year, none of that is even true. This year is Pakistan is killing everybody, and now everybody thinks Akuma is super broken, right? Like, before Pakistan, everyone's like, this character's obviously very good, like, clearly top tier. Okay. Now everybody's talking about Akuma like he is just absolutely broken.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I asked the question on Twitter, too, because I just wanted to see what the answer was. I was like, can anybody, besides Akuma, get 90% damage off of a low?
Uh-huh.
At point blank range. And it's like, no.
Okay,
nobody can. He's the only one who can do that.
Yeah.
For somebody, like, to balance him, I mean, they did nerf him. They literally nerfed him. I don't know which patch are they going to use at DH.
It will be the nerf.
It will be the nerf one?
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. So he gets...
Oh, at DH... I'm sorry. No. I thought you meant at Tekken.
No. At DH Atlanta, I don't know which ones they are going to use. Right? The interesting thing about it is, like, maybe they could just nerf them like a lot of the other, like, unreactable hell sweeps scale the damage a lot, right? So maybe Akuma's clean hit down 3 should just scale.
They put patch notes out.
The scale that they did, the nerf that they did here was that they just made him build less meter.
Yeah.
Right? But if he has 2 bars, he's still going to do 90% to you off of a clean hit down 3.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That'll just be less common, but yeah.
Yeah. But it'll just happen, less often, so...
Yeah, well, we'll talk briefly about the patch in a little bit, but yeah, it's probably the new one, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't know, though.
But that character...
It's going to be a cool one to watch this weekend.
Yeah, but I'm... Commander Pepper's talking about the versus games with Akuma, because I was like, low tier, mid tier, he's clearly, like, the best character right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, in Tekken, he's super strong. He's super strong in Tekken, and I think it's the Pakistani players are really kind of exposing that, how strong he is.
Well, we'll talk about the results in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cool. You want to maybe take a break and then do that? Unless you have anything else to say about this upcoming weekend?
Not really, but, I mean, we've been going for just a short little period. Let's just talk about the results before the break, and then we'll take a break.
Sure.
All right.
Well, let's talk first about ROXnROLL Dubai, which is a Tekken Master event, since we're already talking about that.
Red Zone broadcast. What's a Red Zone broadcast?
I have no idea what a Red Zone broadcast...
with the live board showing the point standings.
It's where you look at different NFL games, and whenever a game gets to, like, the near scoring point, then the channel switches over to that one, and it's like the jump off, essentially. That's where they got the idea, I assume.
Gotcha.
Anyway. ROXnROLL Dubai. It was a Tekken World Tour Masters event. It was very well populated. It was very dense in players. And the winner was GG Awais Honey with Akuma.
It's always one of those guys now.
And second place was Kanga Hira with Steve and some Akuma.
Okay.
So Pakistan got first and second place. Shout outs there. Then you had Chanel with Elisa, Zafina, and Eliza. And then Lohai with Shaheen and Law. Kokoma and Arslan Ash got fifth. and Cherry Berry Mango and Book got 7th.
Man, what a disappointing performance for Arslan Ash.
He's the worst. He's officially the worst.
I know,
He did eliminate knee. He had to get through knee.
Yeah, I know. On loser's side.
Yeah. When I was looking through the brackets, it was like so many interesting situations of like he had to beat knee, Low-High beat a super strong Pakistani, I think it was Arslan, and then he lost to a Pakistani player ultimately. Like there was a lot of like battling like that. It was very cool.
But man, I mean, so Arslan Ash just got signed by Red Bull.
Yes.
Right. So now he's a Red Bull athlete, and they treat their athletes super well. But how much do you think Red Bull regrets this decision now? 5th place, Arslan Ash. I mean, come on.
He's the worst.
Gosh.
He got destroyed.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst. Look, Akuma is definitely good, but it was also cool to see Hira play Steve. I'm not a Tekken expert at all, but the commentators were talking about how Pakistan thinks that Steve is a counter to Akuma. And so they're like already game planning, right? Like they're like on the next level of like, what beats Akuma? Okay, maybe Steve. Like
interesting. Okay,
that's what the commentators were saying.
I don't know enough to be able to go, I can see that. No, I don't like that's still weird.
Well, I thought that was very cool. Okay, anyway, ultimately, obviously, Always Honey got it.
So he's Pakistan's best Steve player.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Arslan was playing a little Zafina. And she just got buffed too, and she just got buffed in the latest patch. So maybe this is one of his counter picks as well.
Yeah.
You know? And it's also not a bad strategy either, because if you have that kind of competition to learn a brand new character, you can take that character into a lot of other people and just blow them up. Right. Even at Canada Cup when I was doing commentary, and again, I'm no Tekken expert, I could tell in one Zafina match that a player just wasn't aware of what she was capable of and was just running into things, you know? So if Arslan Ash can perfect that kind of Zafina, he might catch even some of these pros off guard with Zafina.
Cool. Mech says that Pakistan already thought that Zafina was good.
Oh, really?
But I don't know.
But then Master Jam says Arslan doesn't think Zafina's good.
Whatever. All right. Fine.
But dude, right, Gruff Grid Off? Like the whole Pakistan thing is just so fascinating. It's literally someone else just kind of said, here's your Tekken, like, you know, atmosphere. Here's everything that's going on. And Pakistan just kind of went.
What's fascinating too about it is that it's not the case that they are all from one city. Like that's what I had figured, that it would be like, okay, well, one city is like just a super dense population, okay, like, but it's actually not like that. Like it's not, as far as I know, it's like the Lahore and the various areas around it, but I don't know if it's like Lahore and cities that are super far away. But I know that there's at least different areas in Pakistan that have extremely strong Tekken talent.
Do they gather a lot though?
I don't know. I've never talked to them. I'd love to talk to them about it.
Ray Gambles even says that they don't even play online. Yeah, I mean, someone actually said it. It's like Crescent EXE says Pakistan is literally a time capsule of arcades just stayed strong for 100 years. And it's true. It's true. And again, this is me being the old man status, talking about Street Fighter 2 and how good the players were back then. That's just what it was. Everybody played in these arcades all the time. And they were so good because there was so many people playing it. I miss those days, dude.
Never coming back.
No, they're never coming back.
Yeah.
I have no dream that they're ever coming back.
Bummer, but yeah. Anyway, cool tournament to watch. I always have fun watching that game, even though I don't understand it very well. But it's just a lot of fun to watch. Good job on commentary as well. Then Red Bull Spain Saga also happened. This is on the Dragon Ball Fighters World Tour.
Yes.
And since it's a Saga event, that's one of their main ones.
Everybody went to this one.
It was very well populated, yeah, for sure. So Sonic Fox won the whole thing.
Double eliminating Goichi.
Correct, yeah. Well, Goichi was in Grand Finals winner's side, so Fox had to reset the bracket and then went after.
Okay.
But Fox used Base Vegeta, Kid Buu, Kid Goku, then Goichi got second, Bardock, Kid Goku. There's actually more Gokus than there were people in top 16, I think it was.
Yeah. But
whatever, yeah.
The cool thing about it is that this ended Goichi's streak.
Yeah, exactly.
He's had, like a 4 month, 5 months?
So he literally had not lost a set. Not a tournament.
Right.
A set. And then Fox beat him in 2 sets. right in this event. So shout out to Fox.
Sonic Fox. I mean, aren't they just playing Mortal Kombat mostly, or did they go back?
Yeah, the thing about Fox is that they just play like whatever is needed at the moment. So like for sure when the MK finals happen, by the way, it's not for a while, but whenever that happens, you know that Fox is going to take it seriously and we'll probably win. Like, it's going to be the odds-on favorite for sure. So it's just whichever game is like the one that is important to keep up on top of at that point, but anyway, clearly extremely strong. To Kill Sage got third, then Shanks, which was cool. He's Spanish, and this was in Spain, so it was really cool to watch the crowd.
I forgot who was it. I think it was Takamura, or not Takamura. Tachikawa.
Okay.
Was he?
Yeah, Tachikawa was here. Yeah.
I think he said like Shanks was like he had a compliment for Shanks. Like Shanks is really good.
He did. So, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Shanks got fourth. Then Wawa and Bambaban, and then Kaiden and Mado. To Kill Sage. Damascus on commentary was saying that Kaiden was like a basically up and comer kind of dude, and this was like the by far the best that he's done. So
okay, and look at that 9th place, Kazunoko. 9th place, Super Noon.
Yeah.
9th place, Aliun. Dang,
Aliun almost got it.
This is a brutal tournament there.
Yeah, of course. So I actually watched.
Okay.
And I thought it was all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I mean, that was like a minor compliment, but coming from you, I feel like that's a huge compliment for that.
I think that's a good way to put it. My primary interest is watching Fox versus Goichi because that rivalry is the best thing in terms of rivalry that we have in the FGC right now. So that is something that I'll definitely watch regardless. Like whatever the game is, like whatever the most interesting rivalry is, I just want to like see how that plays out.
That's why I wanted Goichi to become good at MK11, dude. That would have just been hilarious.
Would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched it and it was fine. You know, there were definitely compelling moments in there, of course. Like any fighting game, it was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the crowd was so loud. I mean, you could tell that the Spanish crowd there was super into it. They really liked the game. Very cool.
It's like everywhere except for West Coast.
Oh, the West Coast died. I don't know what happened. California is dead.
Yeah.
We used to get loud. It's true.
We used to.
We used to.
A long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to say about that Saga event?
No.
Okay. Well, briefly, I wanted to talk about Install 2019, which was a tournament in Finland. And it was a couple weeks ago. So this actually happened before last week's show, but I forgot to talk about it.
We didn't mention it, but it was the biggest FGC tournament in Finland.
Yeah, 237 players.
Right, which is awesome because I've already had people message me about the biggest tournament in Greece, about the biggest tournament in like South Africa, the biggest tournament in all sorts of different places already, and it's so cool to see that it just keeps growing and popping up like that. And again, it's one of those things that, you know, obviously I'm not saying that US is best or whatever like that, but we have a lot of the resources to run these events, and for me it feels like there's a lot of responsibility falls on us to try to make it as cool as possible to encourage and, you know, inspire others all around to be able to have that kind of thing. And hopefully they'll get more ranking events and stuff like that as time goes. So
thanks for the sub, Pizarro. So just to briefly say, the winner of the main events, Street Fighter V was won by Shady, Smash Ultimate by Lancelot, Tekken 7 by Jopalix, Rev 2 by Miri, and then they had a bunch of it too. Dang, they even had a Third Strike tournament, which was won by Cyrox.
Nice.
Dang, they had a ton of stuff going on.
Dude, they had everything.
Yeah, very cool.
I don't see Marvel, though. I don't see any Marvel.
I don't see Marvel either.
Oh, okay. But shout-outs to Finland, and shout-outs for them throwing the event and having a great turnout. 200
super cool. I would love to know more about that event. I don't know anybody who was there, but if anybody does know somebody who was there and could send me more info to talk about it, I would love to do so. I just would like to know, like, what did it look like? Like, you know, I don't know.
How was the production value?
Yeah, I mean, like how did it run? It would be really cool to know.
again, I still remember the day when we had a 64-man tournament. We were like, oh my god.
Of course.
This is so crazy. So, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Good job to install 2019.
Okay. You want to take a break now then? Unless you have something else.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly
Street
talk
Fighter
about
League.
the SFL, which is now done for the regular season in the US.
Yes.
So the top team after 11 weeks is Gale, which is NuckleDo, Rob TV, and Shine. I mean, they did well last time too, but they got first in the regular season now. Storm, 801 Strider, Tommy Two-Step, and Mojo. Punk, Rolly Legs, JB was third. Then Frost was fourth, which is Dual Kevin, Samurai, and Sherry.
And so those teams are going to play in a bracket in Japan or something like that? Or
I think that's at the Capcom Cup.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's always been kind of obscure. But some process like that. So yeah, anyway, congrats to NuckleDo, Rob TV, and Shine. They only lost twice the whole time.
Yeah, those guys were playing super, super well. So good stuff.
Smug, Dankadius, and Automatic are the worst players. They went 2-8. They're the worst.
Oh, come on.
Then in Japan, that one is going on as well. And, I mean, we've talked about this before, but their teams are incredible.
Yeah.
Every single one of their teams is actually wild. The current leader is Mago, Machabo, and Ujix, which is called Mago Scarlet. Mm-hmm. And then they are currently plus 16 in game differential and 6-2 overall. Okay.
Jeez.
Second place right now is Fudo Gaia, which is Fudo, Bonchan, and Shuto. I don't know how that's that's. Oh no, am I reading this wrong? I think I might be reading this wrong because they're 4-4, but they're listed as second place, and yet two teams are 5-3. Nemo, Kichipamu, and John Takeuchi, and Daigo, Fujimura, Kawano. Anyway, so whatever.
Okay.
It's cool.
NuckleDo team actually is pretty good.
Oh, it's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So?
That's cool. And then I also just wanted to say that Capcom Fighters YouTube channel is now uploading the SFL Japan events directly to it with subtitles.
Which is crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you would like to see what the players are saying, which is one of my favorite parts about Street Fighter League in the US, it's you can now watch that on
I wonder
the
who's
SFL
doing
Japan.
those subtitles.
I don't know. But
Do they like
super
hire
cool.
FGC translated or something?
That would be awesome. That would be
I
super
hope they're
cool.
hiring, or even High Fight or somebody
Super
like
cool,
that.
so.
Yeah,
But in any case, yeah, go to Capcom Fighters on YouTube, their channel, and you can see all of that action there. It is extremely high level, so check it out.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Too much work for subtitle.
Yeah,
I know.
I bet, yeah.
I got 'em.
All right, you want to take an old breaky break?
Yeah, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about some game stuff. Terry's and Smash Brothers now. Talk about some 5-5 matchup topics, etc. So be right back. Oh, man.
What does that word mean?
Which one?
You know what word.
Gravure? I don't know.
I'm Googling it.
Is that a good idea?
Definition. A process for printing from an intaglio plate in intaglio or gravure printing. I think this might not be the same.
No, that's not what you're looking for.
I think it might be not the right answer.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what is...
A gravure? Gravure?
Idol.
Often abbreviated to gradle. I've never heard that, but I'm also Googling this for the first time, so alright. Is a Japanese female model who primarily models for magazines, especially men's magazines.
Oh, shock!
Photo books or DVDs.
Okay, there you go.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, that seems obvious enough, I guess.
I mean, it sounds like it would be like graphic idol or something, but oh well. Softcore porn model, huh? Okay. Well...
What does the word mean? Is there, or is that
I think
taken from
gravure
English
is like Japan Playboy, but I don't but it's not like actual nudity in the is it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, more like Maxim is what Rock Monster says in the chat. So,
All right.
Yeah, butt models. There you go. Yep.
I dated a girl who did that stuff for a while.
Did you?
Yeah.
You look so happy and proud about that, dude.
Obviously, it did not work out.
You should have seen his face when he said that, man. Come on. But only in the States, though. Then,
in the States. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I dated him.
Who said once? I didn't say once. Youth.
But Fudo actually married one, so there you go. Everybody wants the name now in the chat.
Deborah? I believe Deborah.
Okay. Man, you can't even remember, huh? That's how fleeting it was, huh?
Yeah, it didn't last long, yeah.
Dang, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Oh, man. Google searches Deborah. Yeah, that's probably not going to narrow it down very much. Man.
Alright, well, it's back.
That's funny. Dandy Cheek says he's weirded out because his parents are named Deborah and David.
Ooh. Guess what?
Guess who's actually your father? Oh, man.
Congratulations to DPG at Law / UltraChenTV's Ultra David, parentheses me, for getting married.
Dude, the funniest thing is that so many people congratulated
I know.
you off of that tweet.
And
like nobody.
People who I've definitely told in real life that I got married a year and a half ago.
Right.
Would definitely. They also congratulated me on that tweet. I was actually mad.
Yeah, I know. You were like,
Come on,
do you
guys.
not remember that I'm already?
Yeah.
Oh, date L2P. I have not seen you in forever. What are you? How is it going, dude?
Hope things are good.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody congratulated. Even Oliver, I think, congratulated you.
Well, I definitely had talked with, earlier that day, because I saw him at the Unbound Fighting League
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I had just seen him, yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Yay, congrats, David.
All right.
Okay, all right. You ready?
Yeah. Aha. Welcome back. So, let's talk about this next one right here. P.S. Thanks for the sub. I'm gonna have to go to the other source here.
L2P gave us a gift stub.
Damn.
Noir Experiences.
Noir Experiences? Okay.
Thank you, L2P.
Thanks, buddy.
Man.
Jeez. I hope things
Are you
good.
still in NorCal? Are you? I don't even know where you are anymore. Okay. Anyways, thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. So, Terry is out in Smash.
My copy of Smash Brothers is currently in Olaf's Switch.
Wow.
Because he really wanted to play Terry.
Oh, that actually makes total sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's an SNK head, right? So he has it in his. So I haven't had a chance to mess with him. From what I've heard, he sounds like he's pretty good.
Yeah, I've also heard that.
Maybe not like Joker levels of good, but he is definitely very, very strong. And he just has a lot of things that a lot of other characters don't have. He's got spot dodge into attack.
Right.
He's got good ranged cancelable moves.
Right,
air
moves,
cancelable moves and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's definitely got a lot of unique stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, but his recovery sucks. So that's his weakness, is he doesn't get back to the stage very well, but when he's at 100% or higher, he has access to supers.
That's right. Yes, supers even. Yeah,
all day
yeah.
if you can do the inputs,
which you can combo into.
Yes,
as well. They're not just you don't have to do them randomly.
Yeah.
So even before that, there was a stream that, a YouTube vid or whatever that Sakurai had of him basically introducing Terry.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to briefly talk about how awesome that was.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
You have to watch it. He nerds out so much about SNK.
He's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, you can tell it really matters to him.
Right.
The history of SNK and fighting games and his time in that scene, clearly really matters to him. And I thought that was so cool to see him nerding out about it. Yeah. I love that. I've never met the guy. I don't know his personal history really, but that was super cool.
Yeah, it's always cool to see
so into it.
when someone like that is just being a fanboy.
Yes,
you know
yeah,
what I
and
mean?
you could really tell that like it was super important to him to put in as much SNK related stuff as possible.
He put in so much.
There's so much. There's so many characters that hang out in the background of this new stage, and he showed off all of them, and he gave a brief little spiel about each one. You know, who's Andy, and he briefly talks about it. Like it's each one that's in there.
And just but
even with Mai, he took the time to explain it, which I feel like he wouldn't have done if it didn't really matter to him, right?
Yeah, I mean there was those interviews they said with Cero, 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 or whatever, the rating in Japan, the rating company in Japan. They're like, oh, interesting Peach model. Now rotate her so we can see if we can see up her dress and stuff like that. Right. And so Mai probably wasn't going to cut it because it's weird because Blue Mary's there.
Blue Mary's there, yeah.
And she's like, bare.
Yeah, there's a bare midriff there.
Bare midriff, but like I think it's just no cleavage, no dress.
Yeah.
So I think she's okay.
She's definitely covered up otherwise.
So, I mean, it's like people said maybe for Maya they could have just gave her a ninja bodysuit or something like that just to put her in, so. I
don't know. I mean, I'm not particularly an SNK head, but I think I would be happy with the obvious care that he put into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like
even the stage that they added for him, you don't knock people out until they hit the wall a couple times, then it breaks and they fall out, which is exactly what it was like in Fatal Fury Real Bout or 3.
But he talked about that in the presentation. He was like, here's why the walls are this way. Like he explained everything about it. Mm-hmm. And even the moves that Terry has, he was like, all right, this move comes from this game and this other move comes from this game, and there was each move he was like, this is the source of it. He went into such detail. It was so cool.
They were probably like, hey, Sakurai, can you record a 15-minute thing about this?
Yes.
And he was like, okay. And he's like, Durr! And they're like, can we edit parts out? And Sakurai's like, no!
Nope, they just turned the camera on him and he rambled until he was done.
Right.
Basically what happened, I think.
Everybody in there was like...
Yeah.
And Sakurai's like, check this out here!
And occasionally he made a joke to the room and you could hear people laughing. So I guess I had assumed that it was just like him like in his house or whatever, like just with a camera on him, but I guess not. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
It was awesome.
I need to go watch that.
It's really worth a watch. Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
So
again, I haven't had a chance to mess with him, but again, it's just so cool.
It's super cool.
I think it's cool to have Terry in there. I think that's a wonderful addition to the game. And he even said it himself. He was like, it's not necessarily about the popularity, it's how well they fit in the game and all this other stuff. So
and the history of it, which clearly matters to him a lot.
Which is why I still think like characters like Dirk the Daring should
be
go
awesome.
there. Bomberman actually needs to go in there as well.
Sure.
Kunio, I think those are like the three that I think I really
what's
want.
Kunio?
Kunio is from the River City Ransom games.
Before
they were, he's the one in Super Dodgeball, etc. But they kept changing his names in the American version. But he has like 700 games in Japan, and he would just be awesome. Because I mean, he already fights, so it would make so much sense.
Hubert, wow, what a suggestion. You'd have to work pretty hard to give him any moves. Right? Like, what moves would you give him?
Dude, you know the best thing about it is when Coily jumped off the pyramid like that, they actually had something like a pinball thing in the... You know how when you get a free ball, you the machine kind of... You hear that...
Yeah.
You're right. They had something like that in the Qbert machine so that when Coily jumped off, you would go and it would play it.
Is that so?
Yeah, so when you were actually playing the Qbert machines, the machine would shake.
Oh, no way. I didn't know.
You heard him hit the ground. It was actually really cool. So,
that's really cool.
Yeah. Qbert was one of my favorite games. I love that game. It was really, really hard. Just another Pac-Man clone, but still really, really good.
As far as Terry goes, also very interesting that they actually gave him charge partitioning.
That's so crazy.
That is incredible.
I don't know if they did it on purpose.
I mean, come on, dude. The man spent 50 minutes on the history of fighting games.
But, I mean,
and yes, it was SNK video games, but clearly he knows fighting games,
but
right?
Was there charge partitioning in old SNK games?
I have no idea.
See, that's the question, right?
I have no idea.
If it wasn't, then Sakurai is inaccurate.
Dang, you're calling him false?
Exactly.
I can't believe this.
Put an educational game character in Smash. Luigi's in there already. He was from Mario is Missing.
Mario teaches typing.
Yeah, Mario teaches typing. I think, I guess Donkey Kong Jr. isn't in the game because there was Donkey Kong Jr. math on the original Nintendo. So, yeah. Frog fractions? Put the frog from Frog Fractions in there. I don't know anything about that game. I just know that it's like an amazing educational game with like some mind-blowing secret in the game or something like that.
Okay.
That was amazing. So
anyway, yeah, he has charge partitioning. So if you're not aware of what that is, that's just a way to cut up the total charge time that it takes to do a rising tackle. Mm-hmm. You can cut it up into any number of pieces. Mm-hmm. And any number of pieces. You can do 1 frame down, then wait, then 1 frame down, then wait, and you have to do that for however many.
Yeah, but there's a window after you let go that you have to get back to down again.
Yeah,
otherwise you'll lose it.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying you can cut it up into however many numbers of chunks if you want.
Mm-hmm.
That adds a lot of very interesting executional depth to the character, which is really cool, right? Like. I think that's something that Smash players would probably really appreciate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's what I would think. We'll talk about that in 5-5 matchup.
Executional difficulty. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that. Okay.
All right. I don't know what else to say about Terry in Smash. I haven't played him, but he seems really cool and looks beautiful. And all of the new characters that they put in the background are awesome.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of music that he even took the time to explain.
Put like 50 songs in there,
so many songs, and he explained a lot.
Like, it's so crazy because, like I said, when you go to the Castlevania section, there's all these songs, and you go to all these songs, and then you go to Final Fantasy, there's 2 songs in there.
Licensing, man. It's a beast.
Ugh. They just did not want to license out all those Square songs, which is such a property for them.
Right,
I mean, even to the point where they made their own rhythm game and everything like that. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's do a little 5-5 matchup here. Let's get some discussion going.
All right. Do we want to do the main topic before we do the user topic then?
Sure.
All right.
That's typically how we do it.
What is our topic here?
These babies.
Huh?
We're going to be talking about babies.
We're going to be talking about babies?
Babies. And whether they can handle strong inputs in their Smash games.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Damn. Wasn't sure where you were going, but damn.
Damn.
Yo. Yeah,
so there's been, whatever, some rigmarole on the internet, some mishigas about the fact that Terry does have motions that you can do. Now, like Ryu, you could just do like up B or down B or whatever, right? Like, but you could also do the little quarter circle forward stuff, like the extra stuff that Terry has. And whether that is obnoxious or great or whatever.
Terry, it's only the supers that you can't do any other way, right? You can do all the other stuff.
I believe so, yeah.
Because you can still do crack shoot by just back B.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah. Okay. But it's only the supers.
I think it's just that,
which is double quarter circle forward.
Yeah.
Into button. Yes.
And there might have been another motion that they put in.
Might have been quarter circle back times 2 for Buster Wolf, right? So.
It might have been like half circle then forward.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
Whatever. But are these executional requirements too high?
Look, I mean, I'm just going to kind of echo something that Hungry Box tweeted out, that he was just saying, look, stuff is hard in one game, stuff is hard in another game.
Yeah.
Like, don't, downplay all the people,
It's very silly for people in the FGC to talk about Smash as being unaccustomed to difficult execution.
Right.
I've been saying for forever that I think that Melee is the hardest execution fighting game. It clearly seems the hardest to me.
Maybe tied with MVC2.
I don't even think that's true.
Really?
Like, no, seeing the way that the amount of things that they have to do per second to do the things that they want to do, I mean, I wouldn't put up with it, but they definitely do. So I think that that's the strongest, the hardest executional requirement fighting game. In any case, it's certainly up there, and so is Smash Ultimate. So it's, I think, really silly to talk about it being...
Right.
These executional requirements being too difficult. At the same time, you have people who play Smash who aren't at the top level doing all of those things that are hard to do. And for them, the added difficulty of having to do quarter circle forward, or whatever,
right,
may actually represent more than they are accustomed to doing.
Yeah, I mean, they've got like 5,900 other characters to play, so it's like, I wouldn't even be that upset about it, right? But
I wouldn't be. I'm not.
The thing about it is, though, it's just that, look, I even tweeted this, is a lot of times we forget how weird those motions were. I still remember playing Street Fighter, and none of us could uppercut.
Right.
The first time I ever uppercut Bison out of his Psycho Crusher, I felt like I was a god.
Okay, cool.
And keep in mind, this is World Warrior Psycho Crusher, where Bison goes... Like, he clearly shows you that he's going to do it, and it's coming, and it's this, like 1/4 the speed of current fighting games, and he goes across the screen.
Yeah.
And not like, we were terrified, and the first time I was okay, uppercut, and I pulled it off. I was like, I'm the best.
That's amazing.
I'm the best.
Yeah.
And like I said, nobody really knew how to throw a Sonic Boom when the game came out. They threw it at the beginning of the round, and they could never throw it again. They just didn't understand it. My favorite story to go into this one was at B4, I think it was. When it was B5, I think, when it was CVS 1.
Okay.
I was running one of the pools for CVS 2. And some player is sitting there, standing there, watching his friend play CVS 1. Well, CVS 1, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the guy did, like, low forward super, right? And the guy's like, I don't understand how people can do low forward into super.
Okay.
He was like, that's so hard. Then I saw that same guy playing Marvel, and then he was doing ROM Infinite.
What?
And I was like, what?
That is actually very weird.
Yeah, I was like, what? And it was just because that style, no circular motions, like, it just felt easier to him. I don't know, it was weird.
That is a weird one.
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But it just goes to show how different it can be. You know what I mean? Just what you're used to, and how intimidating something you're not used to is, right? And that's just, I mean, when I play Smash and I try to do all the crazy things, I can't do half the stuff that I want to do. You know what I mean? And so it's... the Smash players, I'd say, like, if the Smash player complains about it, one, they're probably a minority, right?
It's definitely a minority.
There's a lot of people out there who don't care, who think it's fine, right? And, just explain to them, hey, I thought motions were hard at first, too, but I got used to them, et cetera, et cetera. If they keep whining about it, then they're not worth, having the discussion with,
and
kind of
like
thing,
you said, they don't need to play Terry or Ryu or Ken, right?
Right, exactly. There's
at least 900 other characters. Yeah. But there's certainly a lot of precedents for...
I am so bad at doing tilt attacks, Mario 1080p. You don't understand.
Yeah. I do understand.
I have no analog control. I'm very bad at analog control.
I totally understand that. I feel the same way. It's very hard
when I
played
for Star Wars Battlefront, I think it was, and there's the spaceship parts, which I could do fine. But as soon as you were doing the missions where you're running on the ground, and I have to aim at people, I couldn't do it, because the problem is, every time I tried to aim at somebody, I would overshoot them every time.
Totally.
But if I slowed the speed of the analog down, then I couldn't turn around fast enough to be even remotely effective. I couldn't find the right middle point. Like, I'm so bad at, like, nudging the controller. It's really weird.
I find that very difficult execution, no doubt. And in Smash, that's really hard for me.
Right. Yeah. So
there's no shortage of crossover between, like, Smash and other fighting game players, right? Like, people are talking about Leffen. Great example of somebody who has been excellent at other fighting games. Anti's super good at Street Fighter. Like, that stuff has been there since forever.
A bunch of players have gone from one to the other.
Yeah, one to the other, in both directions,
and,
for sure.
And again, so like I said, it's funny to clown on them, it's fun to clown on them, whatever like that, but it's such a minority, and, obviously, especially when they're all aggregated into one Twitter account, it's the Scrub Quotes account, that it's easy just to, like, see, and it gives you the picture that they're complaining everywhere about it, you know what I mean? But I mean, again, we've all been talking about fighting games and how they're, like, trying to get rid of the uppercut motion. Like, BB Tag has no uppercut motions, right? They're all everybody's trying to simplify all this stuff, because sometimes we forget how hard it is to learn these motions. So,
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, in conclusion, this is not actually a big deal at all.
Yeah. Same here.
All right.
Agree.
Cool. Well,
Okay.
in that case, let's check out the 5-5 matchup that viewers answered.
Sure.
Let's see what we got. I haven't looked at the results yet. I'm looking now.
All right. We had 4 questions.
4
this time.
questions. 1. Do you feel zoning is going to die out? Is there an anti-zoning trend in fighting games lately?
Okay.
2. How do you feel about sentiments like high-tier grapplers hurt the game, or strong zoning hurts stream numbers, or easy characters shouldn't be top tier?
That's not one question.
No, I guess it's not, but somebody smartly phrased that into one question. Congratulations.
Right,
3. What's your favorite old school IRL stick playing tech? Did you sit on the floor, play between your legs, etc.?
I actually have a funny answer to that one, but yeah.
All right. Is it possible for a casual competitive fighting game to become popular? Like how Hearthstone is a casual game, but is a casual but popular version of Magic the Gathering? If this already exists, what is it?
Huh. Okay.
We're going to answer number 2. How do you feel about sentiments like high-tier grapplers hurt the game, or strong zoning hurts stream numbers, or easy characters shouldn't be top tier?
How do I even summarize this?
How do you feel? Sentiments.
It doesn't even fit.
No. Just do how you feel.
How you feel. This is like 700 questions.
Yeah. Nicely done. Nicely done. That's a good way to make sure you get answered.
If you want to answer the question from the top level view of what he's asking, it just depends on the question, right? Some questions I think are worth addressing. Some questions I don't think are worth addressing. Okay.
How do you feel about the sentiment? High tier grapplers hurt the game.
I agree with that one. I've always kind of agreed with that one, and it's not to the point where I don't want grapplers to be super strong. I just know that when grapplers are the best character, that it makes people quit. And that always makes me nervous. Like, from a game balance standpoint, I don't care if grapplers are strong. From a let's get people to play this game standpoint, it makes me nervous. It makes me worried because grapplers being strong has always caused a lot of... So when Alpha 3 first came out and X Zangief was broken, everybody was miserable. When Vanilla Street Fighter 4 came out and Zangief was super good, everybody was miserable.
That's not my memory of it.
I remember a lot of people complaining about him.
I remember way more complaints about Sagat and Ryu and Akuma, and then ultimately Seth, than Zangief.
That was more after the patch, right? Because Zangief, you couldn't crouch under his lariat with some characters.
Sagat couldn't crouch under lariat.
Right.
And that was the only reason that wasn't an 8-2 matchup. And then they took it away from me.
Right.
It became horrible after that.
But then, obviously, Potemkin in Accent Core.
The classic example.
Yeah, the classic example. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with it. It's very rare that a grappler is that high. And I don't think that that's even necessarily due to games not designing them that way, like trying to avoid that. Maybe that's true in some cases, but I also just think that the style that grapplers have is hard to make top tier because they are a lopsided design. Right? That's the idea. That's what I like about that archetype, is that it is lopsided. I like that. I have to overcome certain things in order to do my very strong stuff, which is cool. But it's rare that kind of archetype is the best. Right. It's not so uncommon that they're like high tier. That's happened many times, right? So that's cool. That's cool with me. And if it's that you would have to make the grappler less grapplery in order to make it the best, then I wouldn't want it. Like I want grapplers to be these kind of lopsided
Right.
weirdos.
And that's the terrifying aspect of grapplers, right? Because if you make a grappler good and strong, and they end up being top tier, right? That just naturally means their toolkit must be kind of overpowered, because in order to make up for a lot of their inherent weaknesses, it's just got to be kind of broken. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why it's scary to make. Like, I don't know if you can make a grappler super, like, top tier but balanced. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I feel
okay.
like if they're
that might be
top
very
tier,
difficult, yeah.
they end up just being amazing, because that's how you're going to make them work. Or they're top tier and their throw really doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Kind of like
right.
when Abigail was like top tier, right? Like, was it really his command grab? He wasn't really a grappler. It was more just he activated V
everything,
trigger
right,
and
yeah.
you died.
Even
right?
before that,
Yeah.
he was one of the best characters. Like,
Right,
even,
exactly.
Even without V-Trigger, yeah.
Right, exactly.
He was ridiculous.
And yeah. So, I mean, this probably applies more to 2D games than 3D games. Because 3D game, I don't know, has a 3D game ever produced like a Zangief type grappler that actually...
Wasn't Astaroth really good in Caliber 2?
in Caliber 2, I have no idea.
I think he's considered high tier in Soul Calibur 6 now.
Dude, Cammy was a grappler in Super Turbo.
She was.
She was absolutely
She
a grappler.
definitely was.
That's why she sucked, so... it's really interesting. Yeah, he was top in Caliber 2.
Yeah, I think he was really good, yeah.
But was it because of the command grabs? Does PTX count as a grappler? From top,
Would you call him a grappler?
Tatsunoko versus
That's
Capcom?
such a unique case.
Yeah, because they're like a completely different thing.
That's such a
right?
unique case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, see, in SC2, it was because of his ring outs. So it wasn't even because of his grappling stuff that he was top tier. But, you know, as soon as you give Potemkin, like, everything, including the slide head that knocks you down, and unblockable slide head situations, including that lets you OTG, and then you have a crouching slash that sucks people in, you can grab them with this grapple and purposely not finish so they drop right next to you so that you have to deal with them again. There's a problem, right? Obviously, you made all these great tools for him, but they were so great that he probably could have won decently without the command grabs, right? But then you give him the command grab on top of that, and now he's like really, really scary. And that's the thing, is whenever a grappler is top tier, it's because you gave him all these great neutral tools, which overcome the natural weakness of a grappler, which is why I'm always scared to make grapplers top tier.
You could have a grappler that just gets an incredible meaty situation, mix-up situation, whenever he lands a grab. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, who brought this up? Fonte7686. Team KBR in Ultimate Marvel 3. So Hulk, Sentinel, Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that team got a hit,
you die.
That was definitely one character was dead, and you were two mix-ups away from losing the entire game. And that definitely credibly could happen with any command grab for any of those characters, right? And for a couple of those characters, it could happen with any normal grab. And in the right situation, even for Hulk, it could happen with a normal grab. So those were... That is like an extreme example of a grappler team that I think was balanced, but was also maybe top tier, certainly high tier at least. Because you take away any one part of that team, and it's not like that anymore.
Right. Yeah. It was
so
just
it needs like round start. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, those games are always team games are always different because they change a lot of stuff, right?
Right.
So even like BB Tag when Wald
Wald and Tigger
were both super
totally,
good as a team together, right? So
yeah, you mean BB Tag Hulk Hagar? That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, Waldstein being top in Unio. Oh, my God. So, again, I'll just put with a caveat. I know Aliun 100% disagreed with me. But Waldstein messed up Nana Save so badly. That fight sucked so badly. And that was just a perfect example of what happens when you give a grappler just all this range. And there's just nothing you can do. He outranges you, and then you get command grabbed. And, dude, it sucked fighting Waldstein in that game. I hated fighting Waldstein in that game so much.
I ultimately, in Unio, did not find Wald that interesting. He was really good, obviously, but I think what I didn't like as much was that he did have so many tools that I didn't feel like I was playing that lopsided style that I wanted. So I played Hilda, which is like the kind of lopsided zonery style, right?
And yeah, Nanase did suck.
But I like that lopsided kind of funky style. That's what I want. So,
but again, Waldstein was good because he had range.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So that's just the thing. So if you ever want a character like Zangief, like even in Street Fighter 4, when Zangief was considered good, what was it that made him? It was the EX Green Hand. He was the only person with a horizontal moving uppercut, right? I mean, I'm sure that was part of it, but I would say it was more that he had excellent footsies and any command grab led into Vortex. Yeah. Well, did it really? Yeah. In 4?
Yeah, in 4 you get a SPD and then green hand over, and now it's mixed up again.
Okay. Yeah. Snake Eyes used the pad.
What a cheater. Yeah, anyway, that's, I guess, enough about
that part of the question.
High tier grapplers at the game. Second part. How do you feel about sentiments like strong zoning hurts stream numbers?
That one I feel like is more of an uneducated situation, but the thing about it is, this is true with everything, right? There was one game that I watched in the NBA during the height of its defense, which I think the final score was like 47-53.
Whoa.
I think it was like Utah versus Miami or something like that. It was one of the worst basketball games I have ever seen in my life. And, you know, that prompted them to, like, lower the three-point line. They changed all the hand-checking rules. They did we're putting we're taking away all these defensive options in the NBA. Hockey, kind of the same thing. They got rid of the icing, right?
Yeah, they changed a bunch of stuff. In the 90s, defensive play style really ruled. I mean, due to any number of reasons, to be honest. But yeah, that was... A lot of people preferred the style of the 80s and then later on, which was you could have games that were like 8-5 and it was like not so uncommon. Whereas in the sort of 90s, early 2000s, it was a lot less. Yeah, goalies got super good and had huge pads.
Right.
New schemes got started like the trap. Like there were a lot of different reasons why it was like that.
How did the pads get bigger? I feel like that's a regulation thing that should have prevented that, right?
Yeah, they just didn't rule on that for a while. They kind of let it happen.
Yeah, I mean that seems like an obvious thing, right? Yeah. You know, like it's for comfort.
Right.
I need my pads to be bigger for comfort.
But also, goalies were historically the least athletic player on a team because if they were more athletic, then they'd be put out to shoot or whatever. Yeah. So it was like the dregs that were the goalies. And then starting in like the 80s, extremely good athletes started playing goalie. And then everybody was like, wow, this is a completely different story.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God.
The whole hand saves and, oh God. But, yeah, was it Patrick Waugh who popularized the butterfly stuff?
Was it Waugh? Yeah, I guess it was Waugh, yeah.
Dang, okay. But, I mean, it happens in every game.
And what's his name on the Devils? God, I'm killing myself that I have to even ask that question now. I'm so divorced from hockey, it's actually ridiculous.
Brodier?
Martin Brodeur, of course.
Dude, you know what I found out? There was one point I was like, the Lakers are doing well, right? It's like, all right, I'll start watching the Lakers game. My cable provider does not run the channel anymore.
What? You can't watch...
Frontier Files does not have the Lakers channel anymore.
Oh my God.
I can't even watch the Lakers anymore, so I'm just going to kill my cable
wild.
now. I'm like totally done with that, dude.
Anyway, I get your point. I get where you're going.
Is
that people didn't like watching defensive styles even in sports.
It's just everywhere. Like people just want to see action and rush down and stuff like that, you know. But like I said, part of me I think it's also an educational thing because when defense looks like it works, it looks boring and easy, and that the guy is doing no effort and they're just sitting there playing the controller with their feet. But in actuality, when you try it yourself, it's really freaking hard.
I'm not sure that there's like a absolute distaste for slow play. Soccer's the most popular sport in the world and very commonly does not have many goals.
Right.
So I think that may be like a particular U.S. foible that we seem to hate slow play.
Could be.
Or maybe NA because Canada was part of Ever Hockey for sure. You know, no surprise. I liked defensive style in hockey. I played defense in hockey and football and basketball even. I was primarily playing on D. That's what I liked. So for me, that was extremely exciting. Like, I got more value in a good save or like a good hip check than a good goal. But I know that was not the most common way. I guess maybe a good way to put it is, as the Body Boy says, that in baseball, defense is the exciting part. I suppose. In
soccer, yeah.
In baseball.
Oh, in baseball. Yeah, right? Yeah. That's true.
I guess I could see that. In any case, I kind of do think it's true that strong zoning hurts stream numbers. And I think it's true that it's due to ignorance, 100%. But when you're talking about giant stream numbers, you're talking about a lot of people who don't know the game very well. Like, kind of necessarily, you know?
Right.
So I see, not uncommonly, that in games that in tournaments that I watch or in tournaments that I'm commentating and occasionally checking the chat, I definitely see complaints about zoning. In MK11, which I feel honestly is actually not a particularly zone heavy game, there are so many constant complaints about how good Cetrion, Sonya, Johnny, whenever anybody throws a fireball. If you throw 2 fireballs, their chat will be mad. Right. And I see this over and over again. So I think that there is truth in that, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's truth in it. It's unfortunate because that does make us start leading towards zoneless games. And I mean, look at all the games that we have these days, like Dragon Ball, right? Like, you hit 2 buttons, you literally teleport right next to the guy, right? Or you hit a button, you zoom in on them, and they can barely run away, right? Like, all these games are being designed now so that they're really nerfing zoning to the point where they're scared to make Sagat be super powerful with fireballs, with Ryu to be super powerful with fireballs, right? And then when you do have someone like Guile who can zone in some of the seasons, then everybody's like, oh god, this is terrible and stuff. Even Dhalsim is kind of rushed down. Manat got nerfed because people hated watching Manat and everything. And so I just wish there was a way to get people to appreciate it more.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, honestly, I felt like the 2 of the best matches we ever commentated was a long time ago was the Snake Eyes versus Justin at the 25th anniversary LA tournament, because Justin was turtling and we were talking about why it was so good and how smart he was doing it, and everybody at the chat was like, this was super exciting. Everybody at the venue who wasn't listening to our commentary was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life, right? The other one was Problem X versus Justin at Capcom Cup last year? It was last year. Yeah. A lot of people thought that match was really exciting because we were talking about how smart the zoning decisions. And that's the thing, is I feel like a lot of it comes down to the commentators being able to highlight a lot of that kind of thing. So
it does. I do think that zoning is a more commentator-driven style of gameplay. You can get excited by like a lot of different commentators, or just without even commentary at all, right? In many situations. But yeah, I think it's true that for zoning, that takes a special touch.
Right.
And even some of my absolute favorite commentators of all time are like pretty not happy when they're zoning. It's like very obvious to listen to them, you know what I mean? And so yeah, I do think that drags down how the stream will view. I mean,
for the 2 of us, we love zoning so much. We appreciate it so much, and the art of it. That whenever we commentate a match like that, we get excited for when someone makes the right call on the zoning, and you kind of let people understand that. And you know, not to say that it's all on our shoulders to make zoning cool, but a lot of it will come down to that. A lot of the perception will come down to that. You know?
And again, when you're talking about big stream numbers, there's a lot of people who are going to make up those big stream numbers who don't have all the info.
Right.
So those are the people in particular that I think you need commentary for. Right? If it's a smaller stream where it's more dedicated people, you don't need commentary quite as much. But to get those big stream numbers, then that's when commentators come into importance.
Never Knows Best asks, is zoning boring to watch because it's actually boring, or is it because it's difficult to understand why it's impressive? And I really do think it's the latter half.
The latter.
It's not, because like I said, when you watch a successful zoner and the guy doesn't get in, it looks like the other guy's not doing any work. Right, like in Injustice 2, I played Harlequin for a little bit, right? And she was a decent zoner, right? She had some really potential zoning. When I picked her up, I was like, can't keep anybody out. Like, I just couldn't keep anybody out. But then there was those games that I played it, and I felt like they couldn't do anything.
Sick.
Like, I just had every read. Like, here's meter burn cupcakes. Here's jump shot. I stopped everything, and they couldn't get in, and, like, they would rage quit and stuff like that, right? But like I said, you see that, and it just looks like I'm just doing whatever. Right. When you watch Chris G do the more... honestly, Chris G more Doom kind of ruined a lot of things, I think. I think it ruined chip, and I think it ruined zoning. Because it was so prevalent, and people hated it so much. But even still, a lot of people who tried to pull off Chris G's more Doom strategy couldn't do it as well.
Yeah, just a few people ever.
Right, there was only
handful.
maybe 5 people who could...
yeah.
There was
max.
Chris G, and then 4 other people who were close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like everyone else who tried it, like they just thought you went soul until you won, and that was not what Chris was doing, right?
That's actually some of my favorite zoning, more Doom, or just Morgan in general, I guess. Some of my favorite zoning ever, because in order to make her patterns work, you had to often think 1 or 2 seconds ahead.
Right.
You had to be predicting constantly.
Right.
Which is, I mean, all zoning is like that to a degree, but much of zoning is, in many games, a little bit of seeing into the future. But in that case, you were 2 seconds ahead, at all times. It was very cool.
So it was just one of the things. People don't understand how hard it is. Like, literally, I mean, obviously there are some cases where a character comes out and are kind of broken. I mean, wasn't Injustice 1 like Superman, just like laser until somebody died?
Basically everything that character did was to
lasers
among them. Among them.
I mean, he was a problem all around. And the fact that he could kill you by zoning as well just exacerbated the salt, basically, right? So, Deadshot was another one when he first came out. Remember Eris was playing him?
Yeah, Deadshot was good.
Yeah.
I think that they overreacted a bit on that, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, I just think people underestimate how hard it is to zone. Because zoning is probably one of the hardest things to do in fighting games, to be a successful zoner, because you could mess it up so bad. Unless the character truly is broken. But outside of like maybe ST Dalsum, I don't even know if there really is a true broken zoner. And even then, ST Dalsum is super hard to use.
Right.
Like, you have the 2 best characters, Dalsum, Vega, right? I want to pick a top tier and kill everyone. Yeah. Do I want to put in a lot of work?
Right, yeah. One takes 1,000 hours and one takes 50
or
minutes.
No work, right? So everyone will go towards Vega.
Definitely,
so,
Yeah, there were very few strong Dalsum players, even though we all knew he was super good.
MK9 Cabal, okay.
Right.
But he was also because people weren't taking into account like hitbox inputs and stuff.
They didn't think about that beforehand. So I do think it's true in conclusion that strong zoning hurts stream numbers, but I also think that there's things that we could do to get around that, like having commentators that are focused on that. I don't think it's necessarily the case that you need to have less zoning. Okay, last one. How do you feel about sentiment like easy characters shouldn't be top tier?
That's a weird one. Like, is that something people complain about?
I've heard people say that, sure.
Like, who's an example of an easy character who's top tier besides, like, Virgil in Marvel, right?
Cammy through most of SF5. Most of SF4.
Okay. Bardock, people are saying
Bardock, sure.
Okay. Well, Superman.
Superman back in Injustice
MKDC.
1. Oh, okay.
MKDC with the infinite.
Minute 1 infinite, sure.
But ground pound.
There are certainly examples of easy characters being top tier.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we just mentioned ST Claw, right? Yeah,
right, yeah.
The thing about it is like, the reason why I find this question so odd is because if they're not top tier, they're not easy. I don't think that there's such a thing as an easy character who isn't top tier. I guess that's kind of where my confusion comes in. You know what I mean? Because if they're not top tier, clearly they're not easy because you're not winning with them, right? There's nothing easy about them. They're a struggle, right?
But
do they just mean easy to play?
Within the characters who are top tier, some are harder to play than others.
Yeah.
Dawson versus Vega.
Right.
So obviously, I'm sure we're all cool with a Dhalsim being hard to play and one of the best.
Mm-hmm,
cool.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel about a character like Vega that you can spend very little time on and already be extremely strong with?
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, and it's probably not good. And especially if they are top tier. I mean, that's what we saw, like you said, in Street Fighter V with Season 3. Everybody went to Cammy.
Cammy's extremely popular.
Right? Everybody went to Cammy because she was so easy to play. That's the only good thing about Karen over Cammy right now, is that Karen is a little harder to play.
Yeah. Sure.
A little harder to play. And so, yeah, I mean, it does kind of hurt things. But the interesting thing about a lot of these questions really just are balance questions.
Mm.
You know, it's just they all ring true, but they're all fixed by just being smart about balancing a lot of things. You know what I mean? Maybe except for the zoning one, because the zoning one is just a viewer misunderstanding,
right?
Kind of thing. So,
Well, I don't actually mind it if some top tier characters are easier to play than others.
Yeah.
What
if they're clearly easier to play, like a Kokonoe at one point in time, kind of thing?
She was hard, right?
Was she hard? I don't know.
She was not easy to play.
I don't know.
I mean, I think Vega's probably the best example for this. Super
okay.
Turbo. I don't mind that. I mean,
Curly W says she was never hard to play, so
I don't know. That wasn't my memory, but
okay.
whatever. In ST, Vega is super easy, and he is better than he should be.
Yeah.
But the complaint-worthy part about Vega is that he has exploits that shouldn't have been how they are. Not that he's too easy. You could definitely slightly nerf a couple of things, and he's still one of the best characters in the game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anybody actually put time into it, but I remember people saying that old Vega is still a top 10 character in Super Turbo, even though Claw Dive doesn't knock down, he doesn't have flip kick, he's just buttons, and he's still one of the best characters in the game.
Yep.
So he just has everything, and that's what the problem is that he's too strong in those things.
Right.
But I'm okay with him being one of the best and also being easy. That's fine to me. As long as there are also hard characters to play, as long as they're still really good at archetypes. I wouldn't play that kind of character. Well, at least not back in the day. Maybe nowadays, if I wanted to win $100,000, I would. But back in the day, I would not, because that's not the style that I was interested in.
Right. It's interesting take on that. Queen of Wolves says, I feel like that question can be reframed as how much should execution be rewarded?
I'm not sure that's execution. The thing about Dhalsim, it's not execution. You just have to know every single situation.
Studying, right. Not as much execution. Even if it was pure execution, the reward for execution should not be a game-wide winning thing. The reward for execution should be maximizing your character. You know what I mean? Like, if a character takes execution, your reward is playing that character well.
Yeah.
You should not be rewarded for having execution by being able to win because you have execution. I do not believe in that. So,
okay.
Yeah. But again, yeah, for sure. Some people are like, oh, I should be rewarded for having the execution. I mean, you're rewarded within your character.
Yeah, you are rewarded.
You're rewarded within your character, so, yeah. That's how I feel about that. So, like, I don't think just because Viper and Sakura and Gen were hard to use in Street Fighter 4 that they should be the top tier characters.
Agreed.
You know
Agreed.
what I mean? So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Hilda was glitched in Soul Calibur 4. She just had the glitch, so she was broken. She could ring everybody out. She had so people don't know, she had a really powerful move that was like Zonk Knuckle.
Yeah.
But you had to hold the buttons down, so you lost access to a bunch of buttons, right? Well, you could also charge it by using the shortcut buttons, but that didn't lock out the other buttons.
Yeah.
So you would charge with it, and you would have access to all of your moves, even though the whole point was to balance her with that, so she can play the whole time and fight you and then just unleash that move and ring you out, basically. So they just, the game was bugged. It was glitched, basically. That was the problem with her, so.
Yes, Crescent, everybody wins based on execution in sort of like a definitional way. Like in like a meaninglessly, definitionally true way.
Yeah.
That's true. Anyway, anything else to say about this?
Nope.
All right. Do you want to pick one of these to discuss?
Yeah. So what are the other ones?
What do you
here?
like?
Do you feel
What are you
zoning
buying?
is going to die out? Is
What
there
are
an
you selling?
anti-zoning trend in fighting games? I mean, we kind of touched on that
We kind of
already.
did touch on that, yeah.
Right. What's your favorite old school IRL stick playing tech? Did you sit on the floor, play between your... Oh, they're talking about playing a stick
Like
like
a
at
Moss
home.
stick,
I
yeah.
thought they were talking about the arcade.
Oh.
Because my favorite arcade stance was the wide stance that you would have some
had
people
wide
play.
stance? Come
Some
on.
people were playing like this.
Oh, come on. You can't see James's
Yeah,
feet are
yeah,
like 5 feet apart.
yeah.
That's mean. I did have a stance, but it was more like front to back.
Yeah.
Right, like, so you're kind
you
of
had
like...
the leg all the way back, basically,
Yeah,
right?
because the way that the cabs were, they were just at like a height that I needed. I felt like I needed to lower myself a little bit in order to like have leverage, because you needed leverage on some of these sticks.
I mean, I'm telling you, when you play it in the
needed a
arcades,
stance.
the reason why uppercuts felt so goddamn good in arcades is because you were slamming that machine. You were just like, bam! You know what I mean? Sorry about
Oh
that.
boy, that's not great.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Good luck in advance.
But a lot of people at home did play with the joystick between their legs because they would hold it in place. Because the one thing is, what you don't realize when you've never played in the arcade before was in the arcade, when you hit up on the controller, when you hit down on the controller and hit it really hard, that joystick did not go anywhere.
Yeah.
The cabinet just did not move unless you were a big dude, right? So when you started learning to play at home, one of the weirdest things about playing in your lap is when you hit up, the joystick moved up with it. And it was really weird. So the strength was different that you had to push it. So I played on the floor when I first got the joystick because then it wouldn't move as much. But then the joystick would slide forward a lot of the times or start rotating. So you sit with your legs around it to kind of cradle it in place. I only learned to play on my lap because I always tell the story that when Vi threw that LA Regions tournament, what do you call it? I forgot what he called it, but there was like the LA region, there was the OC region, the Inland Empire region, the Valley region.
I remember.
I went to try out for the LA region, which I made onto, by the way, but it was ran in somebody's apartment complex, and they ran it outdoors where all the cars were parked.
Okay.
And so they had an overhang, you know, one of those apartment overhangs that was empty, and they played it there.
Okay.
And it was stained with oil everywhere.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I can't sit on the floor.
Yeah.
I had to play in a chair, and I could barely play. And I was like, I have to learn to play in a chair now. 'Cause I can't rely on sitting on the floor. So, yeah, so I had to learn how to play on a chair that way. And it was hard. It was rough. Like, it sounds weird now, but it's really hard to learn how to play that way. Because I was like Choi still plays on the ground.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, he's playing on the ground. Like, it took me a while to learn to play on my lap.
My evolution of it was playing on the ground, which I did usually. You know how you can kind of like put your knees up. Wow, the elbow doesn't work like a knee at all, I guess. Might actually be exactly the opposite way. But
turn around and
you have kind of like your knee as a triangle over the stick.
Oh yeah.
You can picture it, and you you're kind of playing under your leg.
Yeah.
So that was the way that I played, and I used my front foot to stop the stick from
Yeah.
moving.
Okay. I've seen people do that a lot.
That was my
do that
tech.
a lot. Yeah.
And then I started playing in a chair by having a chair and then putting the stick in another chair facing me. And then I did that for a while, a couple of years probably.
Right.
And then finally, I think I built a smaller stick for myself, because this was before you know, you could easily buy a mass-produced stick. So I built a smaller stick for myself finally, and I got used to playing in my lap. But that definitely took a while. And it took until I was no longer commonly using American parts.
Right, yeah. Dude, transferring over from American to Japanese
Yeah.
joystick was one of the biggest, most difficult transitions I've ever made.
It took a long time.
It was
Absolutely right.
so
It was
hard.
not easy. So even for that, my path was the strongest stick I could find. Give me the hardest spring, right? Because that's what I'm used to, right? And that was part of why I was playing on the ground. And then I figured out, you can actually loosen the spring. Some other sticks are less hard anyway.
Right.
And so I was gradually going to like less difficult to execute sticks anyway. And then at that point, actually, now that I think about it, then that's when I began playing in my lap.
Yeah.
And then that even became easier once I switched over to Japanese parts.
Yeah, it's such a crazy transition that a lot of people didn't have to go through. You guys don't even know how fortunate we all are right now that everybody basically uses the same joystick lever, that you can just go from any stick to any stick right now. It's, oh God, it's so nice.
Yeah, you can borrow sticks.
I know.
I mean, really, you couldn't do that 10, 12 years ago.
Evo tournaments were held up because everybody wanted to share the same Moss stick.
Yeah.
Like, it was Justin's Moss stick. Justin was like, you're up, I can't play. Matrix
Right.
is using my stick. And then after Matrix was done, it would be like, oh, wait, no. Smooth Viper wanted to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That was
like,
really common.
Oh, God.
But it was common for people to just have a couple sticks among a group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like one of them owned the stick for real, but the group of friends would basically all play on two people's sticks, and you just kind of rotate around.
Yeah.
And it was very common for people to not have home sticks at all until, I don't know, early Street Fighter 4, not even like new Street Fighter 4, maybe like a couple years into Street Fighter 4. I feel like that was when the Street Fighter scene really had finally picked up.
Well, it was the
playing
TE
stick.
sticks. It was the TE
Yeah,
sticks
that was a huge
really
part of it
did
too.
it.
I mean, for other scenes, it was not like that. Like the Guilty Gear scene had been on sticks because it was import only.
Right.
Like, that kind of stuff was there. But as far as the adoption by Street Fighter scene was a little later.
Yeah, the glove for Marvel. That's funny.
Sure.
But I mean, like, honestly, like, yeah, I still remember the TE story as well because they had the SE made out of cheaper parts and the TE made out of the better parts. Markman's like, just make the TE. And Mad Catz was like, no one will spend this much for a joystick.
Right.
This is Mad Catz. Remember, back then they were known for having things that if I sneezed on, they would break in half, right?
Garbage parts.
Yeah.
Garbage.
And he was like, trust me. And they were like, let's do both.
Yeah.
And then no one bought the SE.
Yeah.
Everyone bought the TE. And then Mad Catz was like, you mean if we make things high quality, people will buy these things?
Dude, yep.
And then after that, they had the high quality mice.
Right.
They had the high quality headsets. They had the high quality everything.
They definitely totally changed their market. They went from the garbage bin. You would, if
laugh. You basically, they were like,
it was a penalty if one of your friends came over and you had a Mad Catz pad. That was the crappy one that they got, right?
Yep.
That was what my youngest brother had to play on for a little while. For example.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to play on that, and it was anyway, all different after that.
Yep. And then they bet everything on Rock Band and went bankrupt.
That was bad.
God, it sucked.
Yeah.
Made me so sad, dude.
That was definitely
because they were doing really, really well. So.
Anyway.
Yeah,
now,
the SE actually was a good starter stick.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying, oh, you were a sucker for buying it. No, it was a good starter stick. Yeah, it was.
I definitely hear you. Yeah.
We had a bunch of those at our work when Street Fighter 4 first came out because everyone wanted to play during breaks and stuff like that. So, man.
Well, I'm continuing my evolution.
That's right, because you are now on the split box.
Split box version 4, currently being wired up in process.
Nice. The magic floating box, right?
Yeah. Now that everything's in it, it doesn't look quite as much.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And now that honestly the acrylic is like a little scuffed up just from like regular carrying around and using stuff, so it doesn't look quite as much like parts are floating.
Okay, gotcha.
It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm too stuck on joysticks. I probably won't be changing anytime soon, but I mean, I could try. I just don't know if it's worth my time right now at this point. So
if you don't need to, I feel like I needed to.
Right, exactly. And like I said, because I still play joystick differently than most people do because it's the same way I type. I have very floaty hands when I play. I don't freeze my hands into an angle or a position.
What do I do? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I play like this. Yeah. It's. I'm not holding on to it. It's like kind of in the middle of my fingers and finger and thumb.
So you're kind of floaty on it.
And not even that. Like sometimes I use. I guess I use this.
Of course.
I do this. I'm surprised to find that I do this. But yeah, I dash back like that. Anyway.
Interesting. Like this?
Dude, I didn't know that I did that until right now. I was like, how do I do a backdash? Oh, what?
Yeah. But my hand is usually pretty floaty on everything.
Yeah.
It's like the same way that I type. I don't type on home row or anything like that. so I never have to worry about that. So
turns out that was a good life strategy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for anybody in here, like, there's literally no reason to go to any particular input device. They're all good. Like, it's clearly that's the case.
You can be effective with all of them.
Punk, Smug, Knuckle Dew are all pad players, right? So many players are stick players as well. Sure. And now there's all the hitbox players. Everything works.
It all works.
Everything works.
I do think some of it's more ergonomic than others, but
yes, for sure. And
you can be effective with everything.
And I mean, hitbox probably is in the end the best stick because it's the most precise and the quickest. You don't have any pull on the joystick.
I agree. You know,
so it's probably the best one. So
anyway, there you go. Anything else to say about this?
You'd be surprised, Shin Maruku. He says the best input device is the brain. I know you've talked about this, but I bet you in the future, once we have stuff wired to our heads, it probably still won't work that well. Because you'll be like...
You'll screw it up sometimes.
You'll be like, I'm going to do this. Oh, did I forget to do... And then
of course.
Your combo will explode, basically.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, of course, yeah. Because sometimes I notice that happening, even if it's not a hands execution issue for me. Sometimes I just forget to do the thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or so, you know, assuming that you still need to time stuff, right? Your brain still has to be like, all right, press the button now.
Oh, was there a joke in there? Sorry, Shin Maruku. Sorry,
I you got called out.
But SOCD is simultaneous opposite coordinal directions, which is hitting left and right at the same time and up and down at the same time.
What did you say the C was?
Cardinal?
Yeah. But I think you said something else.
Did I say coordinal?
I think I
said coordinal. I said coordinal because when you said that, I was like, I didn't say cardinal, did I?
It's all good, dude.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Enough about 5-5 matchup stuff.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. To the
okay, so we talked about some game news. We talked about Smash, for example, which we've gotten through. Briefly, we addressed the fact that there is a Tekken patch. It comes out today, or maybe has come out today. I haven't been.
Did it come out already?
It's supposed to be out on the 12th.
Oh, dang. Okay. When is all the frame data stuff coming?
What do you mean? Oh, I don't know.
I want my $4 to be worth. No, I was kidding. I have a season pass, so I'm getting it for free.
Dang. All right, buddy. Jeez. Some slight Zafina buffs. Dragonov, very slight nerfs. Shaheen, very slight 1 nerf. Akuma, builds 25% less meter.
Which can be a significant
Negan.
Nerf. Yeah. Negan got that.
Very slight buff.
He got buff. I think it was a launcher of his is no longer launch punishable or something like that. So that might actually be pretty good.
Okay.
If that's what I got right from somebody else.
Looks like down back 2.
Yeah, see, I don't even know what that move is, but someone said
no
it's no longer launch punishable.
Shorten the recovery time by 1 frame, so it's now minus 14 instead of minus 15.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big
number.
deal.
Cool.
So 15 is the launch punishable. Everything 15 is the big risk.
Okay, sure.
So as soon as you get to 14, now you need an I-12 move to be able to punish it. And so it's basically the 10, 12, and 15 are the big numbers in there.
Okay, cool. Well, congrats to Negan.
Look at me.
You are an expert.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's cool. What do you think about the fact that it's coming out 1 month before the finals?
I mean,
the finals are the 7th, I believe, of December. Yeah, December 7th.
Right.
Tekken World Tour finals.
I think. What? I'm just trying to read Curly W's comment. I'm trying to figure out process it right now. Anyways, I mean, it reminds me of the Tanya nerf before Evo after CEO. Right? Like, I think it's more of a, we don't want Tekken World Tour to be all Akumas.
I see. They don't want 5 or 6 Akumas in top 8.
I think they're scared. I think they're kind of scared, actually. And as much as I think that they're probably saying, like, clearly this character's not that broken, but I'm thinking they're probably like, maybe this character's a little broken. So, you know, I think that's kind of what it is. I think they're trying to, without destroying that character and really upsetting people. Yeah. Again, it's one of those things that you don't change what happens, you just change the frequency of how often it happens. So I think it's a good nerf if you wanted to nerf Akuma without ruining him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You can play him in mostly the same way, I would assume.
You're just not going to get access to the double FADC 90% combo every single time.
Maybe you spend 1 bar every time instead of waiting for the 2, because that would be rare?
Yeah, could be.
I don't know.
So, Interesting. It's an interesting thing to do. The other changes I think are small enough that I don't think that they're really going to matter that much. I mean, I know Nee plays Negan a little bit, but I don't know anybody else who's high level right now is playing Negan, so I don't know if that'll affect it. Zafina's brand new, so she's going to be an effect. It's going to be an effect no matter what. She just being released was already a monkey wrench into everything because a brand new character is always a monkey wrench into everything.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal, and at least they didn't nerf something for Akuma.
Right.
You know, I'm like massive.
Like a tool.
That just made all the people who put in all the work for Akuma the whole year long to all of a sudden like, this doesn't work anymore. And you're like, what? You know, like that would have been a problem.
That would have sucked. I agree. Yeah, I think that it's not ideal, but it's just...
Oh, Pokechop uses Negan. Okay. Nice.
It's not ideal that the character was maybe too good or in need of a nerf already. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if that is the case, then okay, I guess a patch is worthwhile.
Right.
I'm no expert, but assuming that is the case, then yeah, I think it's appropriate to do a nerf, and at least, as you said, it's in a way that doesn't change the tools, it just changes how often you get to do stuff, which is much easier for players to adapt to.
Yeah, because you're going to play exactly the same way.
Well, I mean, maybe you would play a little bit differently, right? But that is a much smaller change to have to get used to playing with and against.
The stuff that you could do before is all the same stuff you can do now, just the frequency is lower. So that's good. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine Driganom 1 says, imagine playing a character for the season and suddenly got nerfed for finals. It would really, really suck. I would be very mad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you were the country of Pakistan would just be like, you're just trying to make us not win. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it would feel.
It was like an official complaint from the Pakistani embassy.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously. Did you see that story that when Arslan Ash went to Japan, the guy at customs saw his thing, was like, oh, you're Arslan Ash. You're really famous. Like, everyone talks about you now.
Very
How
cool.
cool is that, dude?
It's definitely the best video game story of the year. Competitive video game story of the year.
Oh, most of Pakistan hates Akuma, though. Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, if they play him because they want him to get nerfed, I'm sure they'd want him to get nerfed after they win Tekken World Tour.
I'm sure those players will be fine. They're all super good anyway. In Dragon Ball, Broly, DBS.
That's right. The new Broly
has a trailer out. They showed it at the Spain Saga. Okay, there's going to be a hot take coming.
No? Dude. It's beautiful. Did you see that super where he shoots the laser and it blocks him and he gets that weird blurry look? Dude, I saw the trailer and I went into the responses to make sure there was at least 7 people who screen capped that, because I screen capped it.
Okay.
And I was going to post it in there like, this frame is amazing.
Yes.
And yes, there was definitely like 7 people in there.
It's gorgeous. Dude. It's so... what a beautiful game. In the background of it, the music is kicking it. Like, it's just... The whole game is so... The audiovisual work is amazing. It's just almost beyond compare.
I don't know how they did that. I don't know how they did that weird blurry look. Like, did they just draw it? Like, I don't know if they could have blurred the actual model to make it look that way. I don't know what they... It's crazy, dude. The other Broly wasn't. This is the different Broly.
This is a different Broly or something.
Yes.
During one of the supers, he looks like the existing Broly.
He changes almost kind of like to the other one or something
obviously,
like that.
James doesn't know the lore.
One of them was from the... I think one of them was from the recent movie, and the other one is from the non-canon version from the actual show episodes. Please be right. 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 There is non-canon Broly and there is canon Broly. Ugh, there you go. I gotta stop smacking the table.
You definitely do.
I gotta stop smacking the table. Okay, close enough. All right.
Anyway, it's gorgeous. He looks cool. But that's no surprise. That game is just incredible looking. In Under Night, there's news.
Oh.
UNIST owners can upgrade to Claire or Clear. I don't know. Via both free and paid DLC. So you will get the balance changes. If you want to get the new characters, etc., then you have to pay for that.
Right.
But you would be paying much less than if you just outright buy a version of Clear.
If you don't care about the new characters,
you don't even need to spend money at all.
You don't need to spend money. How cool is that?
It's amazing. Yeah,
Dude,
that's so cool.
But it's only on PS4, I think. They haven't said it for Steam yet.
I think it's all I've heard is for PlayStation.
Yeah, it's only for PlayStation so far. But yeah, it's really cool. Now, you know, there is that problem that somebody said in the chat, is that so that means UNIST will be lost forever, kinda. And that's the qualms of all fighting games right now, because we can't even play Season 1, 2, or 3 Street Fighter 5 if we wanted to, right?
Well, you could play Season 1 if you just get
rid
of
yeah, if you just buy
but
the disc
2 and 3 are gone forever,
yeah. I mean, this Dragon Ball is all going to be the same. Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Season 1, Season 2, like it's a problem with all of the fighting games, and it's a concern. It's a weird one. And honestly, you could always just keep your UNIST copy, never update it, and then just buy the UNICLR separately, probably, and it'll probably work that way. So, okay. I thought he was about to say UNIST probably best to bury forever. No, he said Street Fighter V Season 2 probably best to bury forever.
That was the worst season.
Yeah. That was standing medium kick.
4, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah, that was standing medium kick this season, right? Where Laura just like standing medium kicked everyone.
I always thought that was whatever, but very good, but not like so complaint worthy.
Yeah.
1 and 2 are the worst because they have the input lag.
Yeah.
Just inherently a problem. And then
the lack of character variety too.
Yeah, and also that for sure. And Season 2, I felt I didn't like some of the changes until like later on they made more sense. But Season 2 like introduced stuff, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. Okay.
I mean, the hope is that every game, by the time they come out at the end, Ultra did it with the version select. Hopefully, every game, if they realize that this is going to be the last version, that they will put a version select in there, at least. That's kind of the hope.
That is definitely the hope.
I think that would be cool.
That is definitely the hope. Can you put some of this stuff on the internet?
I can't. Well, I mean, I'm assuming it's already on the internet.
But on our internet.
Yes, let's do it on our.
Put it through our tube.
Our tube. Okay. Which one?
The SF5 news.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. Oh, man.
That's right. We got a tube.
Let's do this here. Drop it over here. Let us do this. Add source, screen capture, smart selection.
Ace King Offsuit, I don't know what you're talking about in terms of Ono shade. I personally would never cast shade on Ono. I don't know what you're laughing about.
Here you go.
It's my favorite guy. Okay.
Can't start the show without star. Do the grinding, do the time.
Why? Because it is my duty.
Check out the huge Abigail on the back.
Yeah, I know.
Showtime. I got
Hello,
you.
Jasmine.
Sorry, it's a little choppy, guys.
Take off. Respect the law.
There you go. Holiday costume. Laura and Lucia holiday costume. Poison holiday costume. G holiday costume. And the holiday stage.
I think G is awesome.
Do you like it?
I think it's awesome. The fact that they made G Santa Claus, I think, is amazing. I saw that and I was like, all right, okay, that makes sense.
I've always wanted Birdie to be Santa Claus.
Yeah. I mean, he should have been like, but I mean, he seems like one of those like slimy fake Santas on the corner that like all of a sudden is trying to steal stuff from you and then run away.
Yep,
you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what he seems like to me. So it's like Kramer from Seinfeld being a Santa Claus kind of thing. You know? Man.
Okay, yeah, you sold it.
Yeah.
I now like it.
Yeah, Lucia, I think, is whatever. It's generic. Poison one, obviously, it's hot, but that's what you would expect out of her, so there you go.
Just call it the Christmas outfits, you know what I mean? Like, why are you calling it...
Oh, is that why you were doing the holiday? Because it's clearly Christmas.
It's just Christmas, and that's okay. I don't expect there to be outfits for the 8 Jews in the world who play fighting games. Like, I get it. But just call it Christmas. I don't know. It's not all holidays.
They should just make a Rashid that he's just a giant dreidel.
That would be so cool!
Like the Airman costume, but he's just a dreidel with arms, you know? Because then he's like spinning around and stuff like that.
I feel like there may be reasons they wouldn't do that, but it would be super cool for a spinning character to be the Hanukkah one.
Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that will never happen. Never ever happen. But I think it's a cool. I mean, I like the G costume.
The G costume. Now that you have sold it to me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Birdie should have had one. Yeah. Birdie 100% should have had one. But
this is also only the second new costume that G has gotten. Congratulations! The previous one was the Olympics costume.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, has those two.
For how many costumes does Lucia have? I guess she has like 3 or 4 costumes already. I can't even remember.
I don't know. But G's been out for like 2 years.
Yeah, G's has been out for a lot longer. So Bad Santa G. Yeah, there you go. Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Light him up. Man, that's funny.
All right.
Okay.
Oh yeah, put the other one up.
Oh, and then
because we got to chat about this guy.
That's right. There hasn't been a video of it anywhere yet, has there?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
Everybody at home knows what's coming.
Yep.
Which other costume would we discuss? Meh.
I mean, the biggest problem...
That's actually the official theme song of this Blanka costume.
Oh, yeah.
He just walks around and goes...
I mean, the problem with this costume for me is that I think it's... I mean, especially in this season, it's really good with the green and black and spike launch. It, like, really messes up a lot of decks, and it's really annoying, so... That's the only reason why I know what Nergigante is.
Same.
Is because of Teppen.
I've never played Monster Hunter.
Nergigante from Monster Hunter.
If you had to guess, without zooming in the picture or craning your neck to get really close to the monitor, where's his mouth?
Yeah, I know, right? Why is it that Blanka is always the one that gets these costumes?
Yeah,
dude?
I mean...
He had the Guardian Force costume from Street Fighter 4.
He has had some weird ones. I think that he's just the most appropriate one to put the weird stuff on. Because he is the weirdo character.
I mean, he's got Blanka-chan, which was already kind of weird enough.
But genius.
Like, that was a good weird one.
Yeah.
This one is... We'll see how it works out, you know. It'll be interesting to see how that works out.
We'll see, yep.
Actually, that kind of makes sense, too, because I felt like... Because remember how I said Nikali should have been a Felicia out, like... Maybe Blanka could have been too, because Felicia did have rolling ball attacks and stuff like that and everything like that. Obviously, it would just be weird because of the gender swap and stuff like that, but, you know, you would have to give her a completely different voice set. Otherwise, have her go...
That would be so funny. No, I mean, why not? Why not just have him wear, like, a weird plushie of the character?
Oh, if he wore a plushie of Felicia, that would be hilarious,
That would be so cool.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Not happening, of course, but that would be cool. Mm-hmm. Anyway, nobody knows where his mouth is.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. It's right there. But, I mean, you could barely see it.
Or is that Nergigante's mouth? And Blanka's face is somewhere else.
Oh, no, that's definitely Nergigante's mouth. I thought that's what you were talking about. We're talking about Blanka's mouth. Where's Blanka? I mean, we would have to have one of those camera things where you could, like, pass through the models to see.
I'm saying it could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere. Yeah.
It could be anywhere. I would love it if more characters had plushie costumes. That's so cool. It's so funny. But yeah, anyway, there's a Nergigante Blanka coming out. Good luck to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to play video games against that. In addition, I guess that's it for game news.
Yes.
There's a little bit more community stuff to talk about. Part of it is about Echo Fox. Echo Fox may have disbanded. There have been sort of reports.
I think this was from one source.
Yeah.
I've only seen one source.
Win.gg is the source that I saw it come from.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for the sub, King Wiley. In this, it basically says that the headline is Echo Fox investors confirm Echo Fox is 100% dissolved. It's hard to get more for sure than that. That's extremely blunt. And in this...
But I could also write an article that says, Ultra David 100% says the new Guilty Gear song is the best song ever.
You could.
Right. So we still have to. We still have to, yeah.
There is no Echo Fox. It's gone. That's a quote in this from an Echo Fox investor, an Echo Fox investor spokesperson. Kind of weird phrasing. In an exclusive interview. All the players were let go. The staff was terminated. The logo and uniform, they're now a collector's item. It's like so extremely...
Holy crap, dude!
I know, it's
like someone...
It's not like maybe they're gone. It's like it died.
I feel like it's like Stephen Crane writing about the aftermath of a battle in Red Badge of Courage. You know what I mean? It's like the bodies were strewn along the field. He could see arms and musket shells. You know, like seriously, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's the article in a win.gg news story. Right. Here's the other stuff, though. In my personal conversations with people in the electronic sports, they have said that this is not true.
Okay.
And that it is a sort of a ruse. It's an attempt by investors to strong-arm other people in Echo Fox to pay them out before they leave. I don't really know how that works. That seems like a weird thing to happen, but that's what I've heard in the electronic sports rumor mill.
But that sucks for the players
I don't know what to tell you.
for them, right?
In addition, at the Spain Saga, both the Kill Sage and Sonic Fox wore Echo Fox clothes and also still said Echo Fox on their gamer tag.
Yeah,
like
but they're
Fox,
going to be the last to know, right? So.
But this news story came out actually before the top 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you would think that, I mean, one of these, let's see, there's some other quote in here that was pretty clear about the players.
The Echo Fox offices were ravaged for supplies.
Let me see if I can just find player. Well, whatever. All right. In any case, I don't know if this is true.
Okay, but I mean, the main thing is that no one would be surprised if it were.
Although their fighting game players were having a strong year, Echo Fox was in no position to continue paying them their salaries. I feel like I'm Dan Carlin reading something on Hardcore History. According to the investor spokesperson, the organization was paying $500,000 in operating costs each month to pay players and staff, despite not having any money to their name at this point. Wow!
Dang! Like, kick them while they're down, I swear, you know? Like,
so
that is sensationalistic writing right there.
That's what I'm saying. So if there's any truth to this rumor that this is, like, some investors playing dirty tricks on each other, then this kind of over-the-top language kind of makes more sense, right? If the person feeding that to this win.gg writer is trying to say the, like, most extreme stuff in order to get their position bolstered or whatever reason, I would understand that.
Right.
But I don't know.
I think the last time I heard of this site was like when they were like leaking like Street Fighter V stuff a long time ago.
WinGG? I don't
Didn't
remember.
they leak like the Birdie Cammy thing a long time
ago? Did they? Is that who it was?
I don't remember. I can't even remember. God, it's crazy to me that a bunch of people in the chat here know who Dan Carlin is.
Rick Fox is now out of a job. He's no longer part of Echo Fox. He didn't walk away with anything. His lawsuit against Ryzada and Sklavos is gone.
I mean, if you think Echo Fox is a publicly trading company right now, you need another think coming, dude. There's no stocks for Echo Fox, dude.
I don't think they have publicly traded stocks, right? I think it's just private.
Doubt it, yeah. Yeah, Rick Fox left a while ago. I mean, again, like I said, would it be surprised for anybody? And like what Echo Fox was doing, I mean, they just were like, hey, here's a team. Hey, players, money! Like, it just wasn't gonna survive.
I agree with that, essentially. Although I definitely helped negotiate some of those player salaries. What?
Cha-ching! Oh, anyway.
But yeah, it was curious. You know, we all wondered how that was gonna last. By the way, congrats to, I think it was Honey or Hooney, I don't know, a League of Legends player who got $2.3 million over the course of 2 years. Just announced today or yesterday.
Interesting. Okay.
Honey, whatever. I have no idea.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I say that is just because people have got to figure out how to make this work, right? Because here's the problem. Here's the problem is these companies coming in here, and this sounds like an uncensored episode coming in the making. These companies are coming in here, they're sponsoring these players, but they're not selling anything.
Well, they do sell some stuff.
They do, but...
They sell merch.
Right, but here's the thing, right? Like, I've always said that you need to follow a tennis model, right? The players are sponsored by Nike, by Adidas. Yeah. They clearly have a product that's kind of disassociative with what they're doing, right? Like, if someone really wants to create an esports team, I mean, honestly, like, weirdly enough, probably one of the most financially stable and more reliable esports teams that there probably would have been was probably Pornhub, right? I mean, like, they clearly didn't need the esports to make money, and they have another product out there. So, no, wait, was it Pornhub or was it YouPorn?
It was YouPorn.
It was YouPorn. So if YouPorn was just like, hey, here's our player, YouPorn, blah, like they don't need them to do, as long as their name is out there. So that's the thing is, if you want to sponsor an esports company, you can't rely on the players making your brand popular to sell merch for it, unless you're like one of 2 or 3 groups, right?
I do think that it was a good business decision at the start of competitive gaming.
Right, okay, yeah.
So early on, you sort of needed the federation of players because no one player had enough value to be worth sponsoring. Well, rarely in any case. And so it made more sense for them to be in team formats because then you could sell 10 players will put their logo on their jersey, your logo on their jersey, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I still think that can make sense, by the way. But
I mean, EG was doing that. Oh, my cat is attacking JaVale's head.
Oh yeah, she is.
That is so funny.
Oh no, that's actually Total
no,
Biscuit's
she's
head.
Okay.
Oh, she was going. She was actually going specifically for JaVale.
Yeah, she was going for JaVale for a little
Biscuits.
bit. Yeah, okay.
Not an earthquake. Yeah. Anyway, clearly there's big problems in esports. Duh.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I just think it's like,
It's just JaVale's face? That's crazy.
I know.
There's all these other faces there, and she's going for Alex.
If I can set it up, I don't know.
Total Biscuit, completely unscathed.
No, Jasmine's looking at me because she thinks I'm going to feed her now.
Yeah, she's not paying attention to the screen anymore.
She's not paying attention to the TV anymore. So let's pretend we're talking here, blah, blah, blah. So we're totally not paying attention to the cat. Not paying attention to the cat, right?
There's
exactly.
Cat. I
and
heard,
then here's
but I haven't
this
seen
thing,
it in a long time.
and there's all this
Somebody
stuff
went
happening.
somewhere. I'm not able to look at it.
No,
it's gone.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
it's not
working.
happening.
She's going to sleep or something.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Dude, she can totally tell. She's super smart about that. She's super smart.
Cats are not dummies.
Yep.
So I don't know if Echo Fox is gone or not.
Yeah.
But they're clearly not doing great.
Right.
And it seems to me like, in any case, it's not going to last very long.
And like
is right now the moment when it died? Maybe. But
right.
I feel like even if it's not, it's not going to last much longer.
Right. And clearly, nobody would be surprised if it's gone.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest problem. It's just that all these companies... And again, one of the hardest things is that means here's another group of investors who came in and said, hey, this is a great idea. We signed the best fighting game players in the world.
Yeah.
We had all of them.
Yeah. Oh, they had a crazy, incredible team.
We can't make any money. We can't get any sort of
And by the way, not just fighting games, obviously. Right? There's a lot of stuff, yeah.
We can't get any sort of brand recognition... Like, nobody knows what Echo Fox is, right? Like, outside of esports.
Of course, yeah.
And so what's the point, right? And so now you have all these new investors who have basically been burned. And it's just like it's a tough situation.
Yeah,
There is
a quote about that in here that I thought was interesting.
Dude, that's right, Curly W. The pixelated jersey that Valmaster wore was genius.
It was genius.
It was so good.
Despite being in such a dire situation, many of the partners have already indicated a willingness to get involved in esports again. Quote, it's an exciting area. this was just a hugely unsuccessful gig, unquote.
Now, see, that part makes it sound like what you're saying, that those people like, oh, we want you to buy us out, so, you know, because, and invest in something else, and da-da-da-da. Yeah, that sounds a little fishy right there. A little fishy. That definitely had some fish to that one, so.
Yep.
There was definitely some carpe diem in there. So.
Wow, that was really nice, to be honest, yeah.
It's not very often I get that positive reaction.
That was a great, man. You got me singing quite a tune about it.
Oh, man.
We move on.
All right.
That's all I got for news.
Okay. Wasn't there something else?
Oh yeah, we already kind of talked about the split box, which I wrote down there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You just discovered this now, Bushido? He says y'all weird. And I'm like, you're just discovering this now?
Oh man.
Okay. I thought there was something else that we said we were going to get into, but I guess not.
You told me that when we played the bird outro that you wanted to pump the bass up. More of a visual pun.
Yes. That one doesn't quite work as well verbally. Oh, God. Okay. Anyways,
I'm actually just laughing at my own choice to do a visual pun.
Okay. All right. I don't have much else, I guess. Just I've been playing a lot of Teppen still.
Nice.
The meta for this season is really starting to iron out now. I said last week that I feel like that there was a good variety of decks and stuff like that. Right now, it's really starting to feel like this is Ryu's season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ryu is ending up being very, very strong, which is actually bad for Foreign because Ryu still destroys her to death. It's just a lot of his bad matchups got nerfed, and he didn't get nerfed at all.
Yeah.
He got a bunch of new cool tools, so Ryu is actually really, really strong right now.
Ryu's fun.
But that's not to say that he's dominating, because I still run into tons of different decks that are just like, you're just not expecting something and then they just destroy you and stuff. However, I will say that one card that gains +1/+1 for every card in the graveyard, which I said was going to be a problem, definitely killed me good. One time. I was playing against a Nerg. I was totally winning. Of course, then he went, ping! It was like 17, and I was like,
oh my god, alright.
Oh my god. And I was not happy. And then I just died.
You didn't have your Steal a Dude card?
My Brainwash was not out.
Yeah, okay.
I don't even remember if I had played it already or anything like that. And that's not to say Foreign is bad, because Foreig's super good now. Yeah. She just loses to Ryu, so I think her biggest nerf is just that Ryu is the strongest deck. At least it feels that way right now. But again, the nice thing about this game right now is that I still feel like it's kind of wide open. There's so many options and so many weird mechanics that they put in this game now that I feel like that there's still a lot of possibilities. Like Ryu could seem really strong right now, and even Ryu player Olaf was saying that he feels like Ryu eats glue right now. Like in terms of like,
what does that mean?
Eats glue basically means that you don't have to pay attention. You could be an idiot and it works. You know, but he says that he's been getting free wins with that character.
Okay.
But dude, you cannot beat Shinku Ryu with Morgan. Every time I fight one, I drain him down to like 4 health, and I have like 14, and then all of a sudden it's like ching ching ching, and I'm like, I can't do anything anymore, and then I die. Yeah, he's been pretty strategyless. Yeah,
he's been good.
He's been very straightforward, I should say.
Yeah,
he's
very
not strategyless. He's very straightforward, but now he's stronger than before because they gave him a bunch of really good red cards. There's some,
but he definitely has been good.
Yeah, he, like I said, he was always Spiral. Strider Doom to the other 3. Right? There's the 3 main teams in MVC2, but then there was Strider Doom on the side.
He's the little wrench you throw in.
Yeah, that's where Shinku Ryu always was. But now since everybody got nerfed, and he always beat Foreign. So the other 2, Rathalos and Wesker, got nerfed. He always beat Foreign, so now they all are lower, so he's just blowing up on everybody right now. So Yeah, they nerfed Darkness Illusion. Well, it makes sense to me because they added so many more things that halt units.
Yeah.
So I feel like that you would have just spent your whole game watching everything get destroyed. I think the nerf to Darkness Illusion was, we see what we're adding to the game. In our play tests, like, literally these guys can't do anything. There's literally a card in there that every time you resonate him, he halts the guys in front and then also, like, murders them, does, like, 4 damage to everything, halts it. Yeah, like, there's crazy stuff, so... It's a fun game, though. I still really enjoy it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Teppen. You got anything else?
I did an interview with Patrick Klepek about my addiction to WoW and how it helped prolong depressive episodes for me. Not the easiest interview to do. I don't know. He said on Twitter that he wanted to hear people's stories if they had bad ones with WoW. And to email him, and I've talked with him in the past, so I emailed him my whole spiel, and he followed up on it. Yeah,
I'm glad I've never played WoW because I think that not having that game to kind of mess up my life like that is probably a good thing. Oh wait, I haven't spent my stamina on Final Fantasy Record Keeper yet. All right. There could be an aspect of it. There could be. I never know. So
yeah, and it's hard for me to talk about those times when that happened because. I mean, not just because it's, not nice to think about, but also because the nature of it is that I don't remember it very well. So... It's
a very different kind of depression.
It is a very different kind of depression.
What did you call it?
Anhedonia.
Yeah,
without pleasure is what that means.
Interesting. Okay.
The translation. Okay. But it's not just pleasure, it's, no particularly negative feelings either, but just, not feeling. Very little feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did play the game during commentary once, yeah. That's true. I think that might have been a Combo Breaker. Something like that. Maybe CEO.
I've played FFRK, but I've never done any of the hard stuff. Yeah. It's always just been grinding stuff that I don't need to do.
Whatever I was doing was not hard either. It was some dumb quest, but I really did.
This was not a video interview, right?
No, not a video interview. It's just an article put out by Patrick Klepek on... Man, what did he put it out on? Now I don't recall, but I can link it if you're curious. I mean, that's part of why I wanted to talk about it, is that my experience with depression is very different than most people who I've known who have had depression, where it is more about negative feelings and I don't know. I never had that. I didn't have that.
It's interesting because it's really telling about how much
on Waypoint/Vice. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it really tells you on how much those games can actually kind of cause that. The link is in the chat. Actually,
yeah, link's in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I joked about FFRK, but one of the greatest things about that game is it is a stamina-based game, and that if I literally, even after playing it all the time and having basically the max stamina. I do 2 dungeons that are grinding, and I can't do anything for, a long time. It just uses up all your stamina and stuff like that. So I can't be stuck on it for that long, which is nice. So, and the other thing is I've started streaming it now, which was actually really cool. Last time I streamed it was really fun. Chat helped me a lot to beat one of the bosses that I hadn't been able to beat.
That's cool, man. Okay.
So, yeah. So I'm going to keep streaming that because that's actually really cool. It's really fun.
Yeah, if you have had that kind of depression... and you'd like to talk about it, let me know. I think that my experience is probably not great for most people who have had depression.
Right. You can talk to me about. Right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Because my depression is more standard, I guess you want to call it. It's not standard by any measure.
No, of course. It's different for everybody in each case, of course. But if you have had that kind of experience of
just total apathy, right?
It's more than apathy. It's not being there in a significant way. I mean, in the moment, I can remember instances where I found something funny or I found something upsetting in some way, but in no case were any of those strong emotions. And so lacking any strong emotions to attach a memory to, I just didn't have memories.
Okay.
So it's hard to even really say how I was feeling in the moment because I don't remember.
You don't even remember, right?
I mean, literally, there are months that went by that I couldn't tell you what happened.
And it's
I would feel this show for a while was one of the only things that I could like recognize that a week had passed.
Oh, really?
Because I had to go out of my apartment. There was like a process to it, whereas otherwise everything just ran exactly the same for a week, and then it would feel like a few hours later I would wake up again and it'd be like Tuesday showtime.
Yeah, and the interesting part about it too is it's not like it's memory loss. It's just that it was never committed to memory in the first place,
exactly,
right? Which is a big difference.
Just no memories there in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's man, it definitely sucks to feel like you have lost time. It's like, did you ever see that bad movie where the guy like fast forwards his life with was that an Adam Sandler movie? I think
was it Click?
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, wasn't it like Jennifer Aniston was his wife or something
that
like
sounds
that?
right, yeah.
It was something like that. Well, it wasn't Jennifer
and he ends
Aniston.
up,
No, it was Kate Beckinsale.
I really don't remember. But he ends up fast forwarding too much.
He always puts himself with all these like super hot girls, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
He ends up fast forwarding too much, and then he's like, he looks back and he's like, well, I didn't live. And that was kind of how it was. Like, just not even having that time.
Okay.
So, anyway, WoW was not the cause of that. Civilization was not the cause of that, but it did prolong it. It prolonged those episodes by making me temporarily feel like I had accomplished something, and then by having that feeling, I would feel like, okay, yesterday I did some work, probably, because I don't remember. I wouldn't remember that yesterday. It could have been anything, but I assumed it was work, or I felt that way, and so all right, since I've gotten my work done or whatever, time to go into the game again, and then I'd feel its little sense of accomplishment again. The next day would be the same. So without that, I think that those episodes would have probably not lasted as long.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not going back to WoW.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Oh, man.
Well, if that's something that does sound familiar to you, it's maybe something to get looked into.
It's interesting because, like, I feel like I do have little bits of that.
Yeah.
Because there are little, like, games that I play on my phone that have, like, daily puzzles. And I always do them before I go to sleep just to kind of get that interesting feeling of, like, accomplishing something.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? I mean, that was
it's
tough.
a seductive feeling.
Like, yesterday, I tweeted about this. Like, I just had a really rough day yesterday because I woke up. But, like, every time I'm home for the weekend, like, we traveled for 3 weekends in a row. And so I was up, and then I was just like, I'm so tired. So I just laid down on the couch, and I fell asleep again. And so by the time I woke up, it was like already the afternoon and stuff like that. And I felt like I lost most of my day. Yeah. I tried to do some stuff, and then I tried to be productive. But then I ended up cooking for myself and everything like that. But I didn't leave the house. Yeah. And it's weird. You get that cabin fever feeling, you know what I mean? And I didn't stream yesterday because I was feeling kind of down and stuff like that. It's just... I just didn't feel accomplished yesterday, and it's annoying. It's annoying.
That's bad. But it's also bad to have the kind of like empty salve of a video game to get that feeling of accomplishment. Yeah. That's also not great.
That's why fighting games are good, because you lose all the time and you don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that... No, I really think that was true during that time for me, because when I played fighting games, which is not super often... I was bad at them because I couldn't control myself.
Right,
my hands were not up to the task. So I did lose a lot. So, yeah, for real. I mean, I didn't get the same sense of accomplishment because I didn't feel accomplished. For sure.
Interesting. Okay. I was kind of joking about that.
No, that was really true.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Anyway, there you go. There's my story. Check it out if you want. It's on Waypoint or Vice. Oh yeah, some player. What was it in Overwatch? Who got busted for saying the N-word again?
Oh, did someone else?
Did Overwatch or was it CS:GO? I don't know. Some shooty game.
I thought it was Fortnite, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Was it the one that Ninja was defending?
No, Ninja was defending a guy who got busted for
cheating. That's right. Yeah.
And he did it in the scumbaggiest of ways, which is that he said that in the case of a content creator, there shouldn't be a ban. If some regular Joe does it and is actually trying to cheat, then there should be a ban. But if the content creator does it to entertain people, that shouldn't be ban-worthy.
Right.
Just very silly.
Right.
But on the other hand, I think it kind of sucks for the kid who was like exploring a cheat and doing it on stream. Bad idea. Definitely should have done that. But also, I don't know if that was like quite up to this what they ended up doing to him. So,
Right.
Anyway.
Jasmine. Okay, cool.
Oh boy. Heads up, little lady. Well, enjoy yourself in Vegas. I know it's your favorite city.
Yes. Oh God. But I mean, unfortunately, that means this week I probably won't stream the Samurai Showdown Beginners thing that I did on Friday last week, which actually was super cool.
Nice.
Like literally, one of the players on my stream when he first started, like, obviously very new to fighting games.
Yeah.
And by the end of the session, he was playing so much better.
Like one night?
Like literally like 3 hours. He was playing so much better towards the end because in between every game, I would stop it and I would just be like, okay, here's the problem that you're doing right now. This is what you need to do.
That's really cool.
And then during the game, so he was doing the one-player game problem. He was just trying stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. This next match, I'm just going to narrate exactly what I'm thinking the other guy's doing. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, he's being aggressive, so that means I need to keep him out now, and I need to do this. Okay, wait, no, he's going back, so I need to do this. Okay, wait, actually, I think he's going to jump now because of baseline. He hasn't jumped in a while. And I just kind of did that, and it really started to click for him.
That sounds really cool, dude.
So, yeah. So, it was really good. I'm going to keep trying to do that as much as I can. So, stay tuned and keep an eye on my Twitter at jchensor for that stuff, so...
Hey, Paco Stevens, is your video game coming out on the Stadia? I don't know. I know Sam's show is coming out on Stadia. Something else.
It says Stadia hype next week.
It's coming out next week. Yeah.
Oh, the Stadia's coming out next week?
At launch.
At
well,
launch,
Brett, tell me true. Have you played it, and how much does it suck?
I mean,
have you played it?
And trust us, we won't ask any loaded questions here. So you know.
He says yes.
He has played it.
I assume that applies to both aspects of that.
Okay, he says it's like playing online.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Thanks for asking, Macross. Yeah, we're safe from fires, at least for now. I mean, where I live is close-ish to the hills, and the hills are what gets on fire typically first in SoCal. But to get to my apartment, the fire would have to get through the Hollywood sign and the Hollywood Bowl and the Hollywood Boulevard, and it would have to be such a terrible conflagration. Like, it would have to be like epically, it's time to leave Los Angeles for good, kind of like, don't live here anymore.
Because they will save all that stuff.
They would definitely save that as much as they could.
Exactly.
So I'm cool. I mean, it was a bummer to wake up and kind of smell ash.
Have you ever been to the Hollywood sign? Like, actually been up to it?
You're not allowed to go right next to it anymore.
Oh, okay.
I have hiked up as close as you can be now.
I've never done that before. In fact, I very rarely ever remember ever seeing the sign. Like, I just never look for it and
see it every morning.
Oh, can you see it from your place?
Uh-huh.
Oh, dang. Next time I go there, I'll try to see if I can see it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can see that in Griffith Park really, the Griffith Observatory really easily.
Okay, gotcha. I've never been to the Griffith Observatory either, so...
One of the best places in Los Angeles.
I know, right? Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, we did Sonic design is what we want.
Oh, yeah, all right. Okay. Do you have a pick, or do you want? I don't know. Everybody's seen it.
No, I mean, everybody's seen Sonic. There's nothing to say.
So there's a new movie trailer out for the new Sonic movie, and
someone pointed out how genius it was that the line that comes between his eyes, they actually colored the fur white right here, so that he has the separate eyes, but it looks like the one eye thing that they've done in the actual Sonic. So it looks much better, but I feel so bad for everybody who had to work on it. There are some conspiracy theories now that they made a bad one on purpose just for the trailer to get everybody to be like, this is terrible, make a better one, and then everyone says, oh, this is great, to like give it talk and stuff like that.
I've heard that, but you can't put too much stock in that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I hope that it wasn't too much work for the people involved, but I expect that it was too much work for them.
Yeah, the FX industry sucks.
Right.
The FX
very
industry
exploitative.
Sucks. Like
they get very little credit. They get little money compared to the revenue that comes in.
When Life of Pi, the movie with the CG lion on the boat, when that won the Oscar, everybody who picked up the Oscar was out of a job.
That company had folded.
Gone? Yeah, that company had already folded. because they couldn't do anything about it. And then that one movie that Seth Rogen made with the animated food that was like really raunchy and stuff like that.
Okay.
What was that movie called again? But Sausage Party, that's what it was. Did you not hear about this movie?
I guess not.
Dang, okay. But yeah, like all of their employees and stuff like that were worked to the bone and basically made nothing, and they never saw their families and all that stuff like that. So they basically were killed making that movie, and then I think the company might have folded right after they were done with that one as well.
God.
So yeah, it's kind of bad. So.
Very bad. Yeah. I'm not going to see the movie anyway. Like, maybe if I'm on an airplane flight and I've already watched everything that's on there and Sonic's on there, yeah, you know, maybe I half watch and half play Switch.
Look, that was how I went into Jumanji. And Jumanji turned out to be an amazing movie.
That actually is the same for me. I didn't see it in person. I did see it on the plane. It was excellent.
Yeah, I was like,
Hilarious
okay, I'll
movie.
see this terrible take on video games. They're not going to do anything right. And I watched it. I was like, that was so good.
It was actually amazing.
Was so
yeah,
good.
the new Jumanji is really good.
Dude, have you seen the new trailer for Jumanji 2? They're doing a second one now.
No.
But it's like these old people who now are in Chris Rock and in The Rock. Not Chris Rock, I'm sorry. Kevin Hart and The Rock. And so now they're acting like old people, and it's actually kind of funny.
Oh, I see. Okay, so in real life they're old.
Yeah, they get
see.
sucked
Okay,
into the game, so they're acting like old people, and it's really funny. So, looks really good.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. The Rock is actually surprisingly a good actor. I like him. He's really charismatic.
He's
I
really
think.
charismatic. Yeah, I
exactly.
agree.
So, there you go.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Have a good time in Vegas.
Yes, that will be... so you said you're probably going to go visit ArcRevo, right? Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We will see you guys later. Peace out. And bird. I need a bird. Where's the bird? Where is the bird? There's the bird. Yeah, bird.
The bird. Oh, congrats to Justin and...
Oh yeah, and Jackie for their marriage. Yes, congratulations.
Super weird to stream your marriage, but congratulations. Wedding, whatever. You know what I mean.